Why? Why? Okay. Alright, so
I have no medication.
Stacy doesn't have medication. I am the Madoka fan. They have neither seen Madoka Magica nor played Magia Record, and while I haven't played the second arc because, you know, the North American servers got nuked, and also goodbye Magia Record forever all over the world, shout out to Project Mokyu. Project Mokyu is a non-profit fandom of Magia Record Arc 2. It is a team of talented translators, writers, video editors, and voice actors who are dedicated to bringing an English audience the second half of the story in an easily accessible format. Please check it out in the links below. I promise you won't regret it, and you might just recognize a voice or two in there. Okay.
Hi, I'm Stacey. I also go by Hoth. I am so tired. And Australian.
Hi, I'm Raven. I was in the last one too. If you just came from that and you're wondering why I sound like this, it's because I transed my gender.
So we start off with Kagome.
She's a little flower girl. She's got a little flower ghosties.
It looks like a mushroom.
Oh, are those like little mandrakes?
Yes.
Oh.
So her role is to record records of magical girls and the sacrifice
Oh
that
my God,
they...
it's the name of the fucking game.
They said it. They said it. This
So-
is good.
It's based on a lotus and mandrake.
I don't have
This is a
a
pretty
problem
solid
with
design.
this.
I don't have any complaints about this one, I'll be honest.
Compared to the like other ones, even starting with Iroha, this is like way more solid than hers. I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's very on theme. I like
Yeah.
her little crown gem thing too.
Yeah. So this is Yuna.
Ooh.
So she is the leader of Promised Blood.
I like the Urga vibes, I won't lie.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's got that big club and stuff. I mean, the main thing that I noticed immediately,
Yeah.
her crotch is immediately exposed, like completely.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah,
Hey,
that-
it's not as worse as it
Blending
could
in
be.
with the back of the attire.
No,
She looks tired and
yes.
angry.
And
Like
this
she's
is
cried
a
a lot.
previous form of
She
hers.
looks-
Things happened. All right, so next is Hikaru.
Huh. Okay.
She's a marching band girly.
Indeed, she is.
It took me a second, but those are in fact pants. It's not bad.
No, it's pretty impressive for Magia Record.
It's okay. I don't know what's going on with the hat situation.
Like her hair?
No, the hat.
What do you mean the hat?
Like, what's up with her hat? Why does it have a little flap on the end?
Maybe it's a marching band thing in Japan.
I wouldn't count on it, but okay.
I mean, I like the golden sword, I'll be honest.
No,
Oh
that's
yeah,
cool.
no, that's dope.
Undoubtedly.
That.
I think this is mostly just kind of meh.
Next we have Ao. She is also part of Promised Blood.
Okay, her axe is cool.
Yeah.
The axe is cool with showing a little too much skin for what I assume is a child.
She is in
Yeah.
fact 14. But like
I don't think it's the worst in terms of something like that. The thing I'm confused about is like the cowl ribbon situation. I don't know what's happening there. Oh, that's not as bad as I thought, actually. That makes more sense.
Okay, it makes
But
sense, but it looks bad.
Well, I don't like it. I never said that.
In terms of like the skin showing, I feel like this is a case of that wasn't really a thought that went through the head. The design is pretty inoffensive.
Yeah. I think at the very least her skirt should be longer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
This
I like this
is Juri Oba. She's the last of Promised Blood's leaders, and yes, she flamethrower.
one. Oh.
Very nice.
Interesting.
I appreciate the dragon-esque vibes.
Yes, she
Very
is
nice.
a dragon. I gotta say, solid.
Yeah.
I don't have issues with this.
Well,
That's probably the posing here is a bit questionable, but
I don't
care.
Well, she's gonna trip on it. Wait, hang on. Yeah. Is the dragon like wing and tail not part of her body? It's just part of her flamethrower pack.
yes.
I dislike
Seems
that.
way, yeah.
Oh.
I was hoping for a dragon girl, and you've disappointed me. I still really like her though. This one is good. This one's a solid one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
This
whoa, whoa.
is-
this one's cool.
Ranka.
She's a claw machine girl.
I don't know anything about her.
I have no complaints with this design. This is a solid fucking look.
This one rules.
Great color palette, great silhouette. Like,
I think
love it.
I honestly, this is I think maybe the first perfect one.
Yeah, you know, I think I didn't like this at first just because the fucking claw hand.
No, that rules.
No, yeah, it's
awesome.
fun. It's
You know
fun.
what I think the difference is? This one's giving VTuber.
You're so right. Sakuya.
Oh, we've made a sharp turn. Okay.
Suck.
Her
Stop
orbs.
looking at me with them big ol' eyes.
As we previously discussed,
Ugh.
many characters in Magia Record are designed and illustrated
God,
by
my friends are
different
so
artists.
fucking
Yeah, that's
funny.
great and all. This sucks. I hate it.
They are funny friends.
Looking away from her face.
It's hard to.
What?
I think otherwise, the only other complaint
My
that I
friends
would
are
have
so
about
nice.
this
I love
design
them.
is just how hiked up the tit region is on her hoodie. It's trying its best without actually going there, and it's just built in,
Yes.
and it's not cool. Her freaking eyeballs, dude. I can't.
It's like...
Just
I think
put a
this,
mask on or something, and she'll be
I
like
think
cool.
this.
Your
Just
mouth
three-
and your eyes are half of your face.
Just three portals into your soul.
Shizuka.
Ah,
A,
That's a nice sword.
this is cute.
a lot of the Arc 2 main girls you will notice have an extremely traditionalist Japanese vibe.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna say
thing-
I clocked that for this one. Her sword is really interesting. Just say
We-
it's like a
we-
lightning strike.
Note here, we spent so long. I cut the audio down obviously for the character design review things. We spent so long talking about Shizuka's sword. We spend a lot of time on the character's weapons just cuz you know they're fun, whatever, but like specifically here I cut out so much audio of us just being like, "Ooh, cool sword." Oh, like imagine, like just like it. So much time, just being like, because we're all fucking mentally ill in different ways. Oh,
But as a sword,
I don't have any complaints about this design either. This is a solid.
it's alright. Yeah.
solid-
Good color.
also her Shizuka's like intro transformation sequence is terrible and I absolutely hate it. Holy shit. I have thought about doing a thing where it's like, oh, I force them to watch all like judge the transformation intro sequences, but also compilations of that are like literally out like an hour long. So with our commentary, fuck.
Color's good. Just kind of.
Yeah.
Good colors, good silhouette.
Decent.
I think it's solid. It's give it a 8.5
It doesn't,
out of
it
10.
doesn't knock anything out of the
Okay.
park, but it's pretty good.
This is
Ooh.
Chiharu.
Okay. Kind
Very
of
cute.
plain as well, but I do like it.
Yeah, no, I have no complaints about this either. This looks very comfy. It doesn't
it
look
does look
as
comfy.
extravagant as the previous design, and I'd say that the color palette is not the strongest, in my opinion.
The different yellows are kind of clashing a little bit, but it also just makes it feel kind of comfy. I like the other one better, but this one's pretty good too.
Yeah.
Third
This
girl.
is
God,
Whoa.
Suno.
Sneeze.
Okay.
Ooh, this is a very different vibe.
Very.
She looks more like a fortune teller.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's giving off the vibe of like Gypsy and Gothalita at the same time, which is a weird combo to have with those other two.
Yeah, it is very much.
The vibe is way just like completely different from the other two if they're supposed to be related.
I like this color palette though.
The color palette's
navy
great.
blues.
Yeah.
This is Himena.
Oh, okay.
She
I like
is
this one.
another faction leader. She
Okay.
is the
I
leader
also-
of the Neo Magi.
I also spent like in the original recording session for this, I spent way too long blabbing about lore and just kind of going in circles. And that's because like I don't know these characters as well. So I guess ugh.
Yes. Her wish was she basically has like her boyfriend who died in her head.
To,
That
to
her
have
boyfriend
to have her
died?
boyfriend in her head forever?
Yeah,
Oh.
that her boyfriend is in her head
If I
forever.
could get this
That
line.
doesn't sound
Ah,
like
so
a good
she-
coping
She
mechanism.
wished for schizophrenia.
A little bit, yeah. Because you see her little veil thingy
Oh.
makes a heart.
Oh, yeah.
No, I still need that.
Okay.
I just need this.
I really like this one. I like all the little flower petal looking
Oh,
guys on her.
Come on.
It's just okay to me. It's not as extravagant or as interesting as some of the previous designs,
No,
in
but
my
I
opinion.
really like
Yeah.
it though.
The hair is a solid design.
I
think
love-
actually
I love
really
her
like how
hair.
The hair is made.
The hair's
Yeah.
awesome.
Next is Shigure. I'm
Well,
not
she closes that eye anyway.
a fan of her design.
I think the thing I don't like is the color, yeah. It's this, like, barf yellow. It's really gross.
This is green.
So my main issue is just how like the jacket and
the whatever.
how low. Like I think these are the pants, and
The fact that we can, like,
that one little bump.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
don't like
one
that.
little bump, I don't like
Why
the
did you have? Why did they have to
implications.
do that part?
Yeah,
Give
Well,
her
you know.
pants, please.
give her pants.
Just still
Give
don't
her
understand.
pants and
I
shorts.
feel
Honestly,
like-
the shorts would work. Yeah.
Yeah, does she even have any? Is that supposed to be a skirt?
I don't know. I think these are the pants.
Why does it go up like that
I-
to like nearly flash us?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
have to-
Another
you have-
episode of what is the age of this character?
I was about to say, please
13.
be. Oh,
No.
everyone dislikes that.
Put this design on an adult character and it'd be fine.
I
don't
still
even know
don't
if
like
that's
the
true.
pants.
I
It-
said
it
fine,
would-
I didn't say good. It's very monotone and it's
I said
not
fine,
working in its
didn't say
favor.
good.
It needs another like contrasting color for it to
Yeah.
not be just all green.
Yeah, it's really muted in like
Just have some black in there. It would have
Nah.
been a little more contrasty
Ah,
and a bit
yeah.
more solid.
maybe.
Hagumu.
Okay,
Um,
I'm getting like a
looks like
a dessert vibe from her.
yeah, I was getting dessert vibes as well.
Looks like a Sunday
get
into
dessert
who
vibes,
became a person.
But she is not a
That
dessert
her wish is
character.
not anything related to do with sweets, but I also get
Is
like
that a giant fucking sword?
Yeah, she's
Yes.
got a big old sword.
Yes! Look, I'm just happy for a giant sword. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
I think more little girls deserve giant buster swords. I'm just saying.
I think my only thing with this design is her skirt's kind of funky.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be open more
It's an
in the
interesting
front.
silhouette.
More open in the front at least.
The fact that
Poofy.
it bells in and then it
Yeah.
has this like trail.
I
at
just
the
don't quite
back as
understand
well.
how that works. Mainly, it looks nice.
Pardon
so
me.
next is Sun.
Train girl.
That's a train.
also
Oh no,
thought
that's
she
a
was
Gatling
trained.
gun.
Better.
Never mind.
She is a
Much
gun.
better.
She's just a Gatling gun.
I'm gonna be real. I don't have any complaints.
Ruby.
Well, I'm
Ruby
I'm
voice.
mostly
I think
confused
the
about
also a
whatever
gun.
is happening on her back. I don't
On
know
her,
what
I
that
mean,
is.
what do you mean? What's on her back? It's
like
a
she's got
fucking
these
gun.
she's got all these squiggles on her.
I mean, that's a ribbon.
I do love that. I love this card art a lot. It's so like
No, this
impactful.
is incredibly
Arms
fun.
fully turn into Gatling guns.
And she has one on her head.
Go with a gun. You can't go wrong.
This
My
girl is
only-
gun.
My only complaint is the color palette. I do think that some of the colors are clashing a little bit in a way that doesn't.
I don't think that
I
they
think
clash.
that
I just
kind
think
of
it's a little
works.
odd.
Miyuri.
I hate this pose. Hello, what is that?
Yeah, no,
Anxiety. I think that was just meant to be a cute pose. I don't
And
think
it
it was
didn't
meant
It's
to
not
be.
cute. I don't like it.
I like the colors. I think it's the big stupid helmet that
No, I really dislike the big stupid
throws it
helmet.
off. So
She's got
I
like
mean-
these weird little like danglies on her. Too,
Yeah, I
that
don't understand the
understand
danglies.
those.
I
can't
look, I
get over the
feel
fucking helmet.
No, the helmet is really silly.
I feel like if I had played the game and I was able to like naturally meet her as a character, I feel like it would grow on me. But right now,
I think I could agree with that.
not
but,
really.
meh.
Mitsune.
Oh, there's
She
my
seems
girl.
familiar. I wonder where
So
she's.
I will make it clear now.
I
I
was
was gonna
gonna
make
make
you
the-
guess,
yeah.
but then I forgot to say it
forgot.
at the beginning. But in Project Mokyu, I voice Mitsune. This is my girl.
That checks out for you.
I adore
What the
her.
fuck did
No,
she
I
mean
love
by
this
that?
design.
What do you
I
mean
love
that
the
checks out for me?
cyberpunk Design here. This is so good.
I also love that her weapon is just a fucking taser.
Yeah, so I love her, and her soul gem is that Ethernet cable around her neck.
Oh, Oh, something
It's
I just
also
noticed.
a really solid color to have contrasting with the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of the design.
No,
It's
that
such
rules.
a good choice.
No, something I
Yeah.
just noticed is
Yeah.
that she's got these little goggles on her.
Yeah.
One of them is just spikes.
Yep.
I don't know.
Welcome to Cyberpucks.
That's an interesting thing.
So yeah, internet stuff, because she's a hikikomori.
And
Man,
then I
it's
had
been
to
a while, but
explain
she
what
has
a
a lot of
hikikomori
complicated
was to
feelings,
Stacy.
and she's a little bit of a loser nerd. She makes up stories about her life to post on the internet in hopes of getting engagement, and then she immediately gets called out by other people like, oh my god, I bet this is just some loser who stays at home all day and never goes out.
But I don't have any complaints with the design. I think this is like the first 10 out of 10 that I've got. Really.
This is
Meets
extremely
Snae
solid.
certified
She's
perfect.
really
This is
great.
a
Color
lot.
palettes are great. The contrasting blue with the like dark yellows, and the binary and the circuit board patterning is so good.
Yeah.
Lavi.
And then
Okay.
So
Oh boy.
she is the ringleader of the Folklore of Zero faction, and basically they're just magical girl nihilists.
Okay.
Yes. What are your thoughts?
So, why are we based on Native Americans?
I have no idea. Maybe not Native Americans, but possibly Aborigine.
So the thing with Lavi that I realize later on, reading things, is that her, like, everything about her is just a mishmash of various different, like, native cultures from around the world, mostly centered on, like, the Americas, but that just kind of makes the design even more confusing, because it's like, let's just take all of these cultures that vaguely have a shared history of being, fucked over by people who came later, and make them a girl. And it's like, but why though? Why did you do that?
I don't
Because
think
her
that they-
weapon is a boomerang.
I don't think those are supposed to be related.
No.
Stacy,
Yeah.
extremely Australianly.
For
No.
cultural appropriation
At least
alone,
those are
this gets an
two-
F, and this
those are-
is also just a bad design.
The colors are a choice. It's a lot of like washed out browns and yellows. And
Frankly,
then
the colors don't upset me the most. It's just every
I do
other
like
thing.
the cyan, the contrasting with the rest of the design, but
Well,
it's
that's-
also because
Sure.
it's the only pretty color out of everything.
Well,
It is.
That's because turquoise is significant to many Native American cultures.
This is true.
So that's probably why.
Okay, but why is she like that? What is...
Japanese man thought looked cool.
I mean, sure, okay, whatever.
So this is Asahi. She is also part of the Folklore of Zero.
She doesn't look nihilistic at all. She seems like she's having a great time. Time to go to war.
A gun. Yeah, time to go to war. The pin on her hat, I'm pretty sure.
That's
If you go
for
to the
her soul
next
gem,
picture.
I think, yeah.
I see.
Bullets!
It's a bullet. It's a bullet.
That's
Very
cool,
nice.
actually.
So my only complaint looking at it is the fact that midriff, just because
I
it
mean,
doesn't
yeah.
make
Fucking midriff
sense.
does bother me.
It's-
It breaks up the design in like such an unnecessary way. Like, why? Okay, I think no. How do I? Fuck.
The least offensive midriff that there has been,
Yeah.
frankly. It doesn't need to be there, but I don't find that too offensive, at least.
Well, no, but it's just like it breaks it up in a way that I think is unnecessary. Her weapon is listed as an Arisaka rifle with a Type 30 bayonet, and
Yep.
I just really love how specific
The
that is.
specificity of it. Yeah,
think
I
my
mean, it's a
cat's
rifle
going
with a
crazy.
bayonet, but I wouldn't have been able to tell you which one it
Baby.
was.
It's a Type
I don't
30.
know where she is.
Cool.
This
Talk
is
about-
Alexandra.
Oh
Interesting.
my fucking god.
Um,
She's got a harp.
That is a giant orb.
That is a giant orb.
Yes, in her transformation, this
Mm,
whole thing right there.
Why?
I mean, I like
I
her.
mean, I like the hop. I think it's way too fucking heavy looking, though.
No,
like,
her-
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
no, it's definitely.
I mean, for having a harp as a weapon, it's really
That's a
small, which is
bludgeoning
good.
You know what? Actually, if she uses it a weapon, maybe it makes sense.
this is just the worst.
She does
you
not
can't
use
play
it as
the
a
harp with it
bludgeoning weapon.
wedged in between your tits, lady. In terms of the,
The
design
design.
as a whole, I think it's.
It's pretty okay.
I like
my
her
thing
design.
is that it doesn't look like a magical girl. It just looks like a woman.
That is fair.
I mean, I like it.
If
but
only
it's
she
like,
was a woman
That's just a girl.
and not
Next is
a fucking child.
Uvara.
Yo-yo girl.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that the soul gem is in the shape of like, the silhouette of a yo-yo. That
That
does
is
Oh
make
my
me happy.
god, you're right.
I think the main
I
thing
think I
for
just
me
gotta
is
live
that I
with
just
this.
don't like the green.
Yeah, the green is a little weird.
Could have at least done a better green than that. If nothing
I feel
else.
like that the
I gotta live with
pink
that,
of the
I think.
yo-yo itself could have been incorporated a bit more into the main design.
Not too.
Then it wouldn't have been as offensive that most of the design is green, because green and pink contrast each other quite
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but also like, put on a shirt.
Yeah,
Why doesn't she
Nayuta.
have a
No.
shirt?
Huh.
I mean, this is a neat design.
The more I look at it, the less I like about it, I'll be honest. The main thing I don't like about this is just the values of everything are completely off. She's got a bunch of gray or muted purpley colors, and then just like, boom. The richest purple you've ever seen in your goddamn life.
No, that's
And then
fair.
that little bit of nasty green in between too, which is just like, why are you there?
Is the green. But yeah, I do agree with
Shout
Raven's
out
points
to
about the fact
Where's
that the design
Green?
looks very washed out, and then there's this fucking random
Purple.
green.
So next is Mikage. She is the
Oh.
younger sister of Mitama from last time.
The weapons are very interesting. She looks very small. How old is she?
12.
12?
Yeah.
She
Question
baby.
is the brown parts actual solid fabric, or are those meant to be sheen? It's my concern.
I mean, they look pretty opaque.
Yeah, I think they are
Yeah,
solid.
okay, so if they're opaque, then I don't have too many complaints.
I think that we would know more if they were sheer. I kind of like this one. It's interesting.
I
But
like the colors. It's a very solid
no, the colors are
choice.
good. It's neat.
She's baby. So
Neat.
next is one there's gonna be some discussion
Oh,
about.
Oh, good.
here we go.
Oh,
Sudachi.
Vampire bat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is like a bat
Oh my gosh.
aesthetic.
Oh, they
She has
love
this little
Sudachi
thing.
That's really cute.
until-
That's
So-
actually really cute. I like that.
I
So
really
let
like
me
that.
tell you.
She's what discussion is there to have? She's adorable. Go on.
Content warning for
For
Like me
Oh,
losing
geez.
my mind because I can't.
content warning for school shootings.
ah.
Not again!
Wait, what do you mean not again?
Last time we did this, there was like 5 characters that were all involved in school shooting.
No, there what? Stacy, what the fuck are you thinking of?
That was
Stacy,
not part of what
The
happened.
moment
Yes.
we all
no,
just kind of lost
Stacy,
our minds.
incorrect. No,
You're remembering wrong.
you had a fucking fever dream. And so I mentioned this because
This was also
she.
this was also another situation where where I truly did just like blab on and kind of like say the same shit over and over. But like I really wanted, because part of this is yes to look at the designs and examine them and stuff, but also partly I just want like my friends who don't know any of the context to experience like what the fuck is this, why did they do that, and I can be like, look man, I don't know.
Does kind of have a gingerbread man theme. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You
Oh.
can't catch me. Like how she's the only
Okay.
one who got away.
I
Or-
The only one who
see.
survived.
Yes.
Okay.
But and so the main thing that
How
I
does that go into the bat theme?
I don't know why she's a bat.
know. But so
We can go back to 5 minutes ago before we have figured out all of this, and we were just like, yeah, this is a cute design. Okay,
Yeah.
can we go back to that?
yeah.
yeah.
Also,
She's
her
just like a
transformation
little
sequence is
fruit
terrible,
bat,
too.
and her design is also apple.
I guess it is Apple. I don't like the strap between her pants and her leggings. That's the one thing that I would change. I would at least put it on the side, but that's just a me thing.
That's fair. It can be built both ways.
The other thing that I have to mention with this character, so she does not speak sentences. In the most offensive move possible, she's so traumatized by, the trauma that she kind of became mute. But instead of just being mute, she makes cute little animal noises.
Okay, I just like that.
is-
Well, I liked this one up until you gave us the
bad news.
the rest of it.
How are
Everything other than
you?
the design.
Her soul gem is just kind of floating on her head.
I do dislike that. It could have literally just been the one that's on her
her soul
bow.
gem? I thought it was the one on her bar.
That would have been the smart thing.
Moving on, Yozuru.
Okay.
Okay, I just saw the hole
Did
in the
you?
fucking pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
This is great
Hey.
until then.
So, question.
Yeah.
Why does this look closer to someone related to Mitama than her actual sister?
One very interesting question. Two, these three, Sudachi, Yozuru, and the next one, are all somewhat related to Mitama in that they are all coordinators, meaning they are people who can, adjust a magical girl's soul gem. And in the game, they are all the null type,
I see.
which doesn't interact with any of the others.
So this one actually seems related
Yeah.
gameplay-wise, too. Okay, so, I mean,
This is a solid design except for the fucking hole in the pants.
So, okay, speaking of the void type, which I know I misnamed in here, but okay, oh god, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, goodness me. But in Magia etc. changed a lot of the types of the characters and stuff, and that kind of bothers me. Masara in Magia Record was a light type, or had the light attribute, but in etc. she has the void attribute, and I'm like, why though? Why did you change that? Light kind of worked with her whole thing of glass and mirrors and light refracting and stuff. What? Why? And then I really don't understand Ashley's change. Her 3-star variant is, her 3-star Kyoku is a dark type like she was in Record, but when you get to the 4-star, then she suddenly becomes void type. And I don't get that, because I liked the dark typing for her because it matched her whole the creepy kawaii thing that she has going on. So why did they change that, and why did they leave it for the kind of less valuable version of the character and stuff? And then there's also thinking, because there were theories about what the specifically void type characters, and how people thought that maybe that typing related to their wish, and that was just more of a fan theory than anything. Mabayu is now a light attribute in etc. rather than the void type that she was before, and I actually find that really interesting. And it is kind of fitting, because her ability is more based around light refraction, but or at least in some ways it's based on light refraction. But I mean, yeah, man, why did they change it? I don't know. It super doesn't make sense for Ashley, my lord.
Yeah, the elephant in the room is right there, and also, of course, there's a mole, so you can see it. You can look at it. Hold on.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. 1 point in its favor. The gender vibes.
No, the gender vibes are
Yeah,
there.
the gender is great.
I approve of that part.
What's the age of this character?
16. The main thing that frustrates me is her transformation sequence. So, like, she has whole pants and then they cut them out.
Yeah.
I
Why?
Love the
I
crunch
don't
for
know.
the
For the
transition.
vision.
so
That's perfectly good pants that you just ruined.
Well, now you can see the mole on her thigh.
this is Livia. She let it be known she's the only dark-skinned character in the game.
Of course she is, and she's got a fucking voodoo hat or whatever too.
It's a top hat. So she is the coordinator who taught Mitama. Her backstory is trafficking.
Oh.
Well, that's not
Yay,
good.
congratulations. Make the, like, only thing close to a POC character being the fucking one that gets
The
trafficked.
victim
like,
of human
trafficked.
trafficking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking choice.
And not only that, they had to go and sexualize her too.
No, like this is
Yeah.
insane. Like
No,
the
this
yeah,
is
the
no,
gross.
what's the
I've talked to some people too. Like there is, like, for like her actual story and the way it's told and stuff. There is some discussion to be had, like about how people with darker skin are treated in Japan and how like they get unfairly like kind of marginalized and stuff. And yeah, that's a factor, but you know, as genuine as I'm sure that story is, she still like looks, it's a choice and also looks like that, which, like, she's cool, but like it's the way it's illustrated. It's not the design itself, it's the way it's illustrated, I believe.
age of this character?
she
Okay,
is
so
an adult
at-
at least.
Still so much focus on her titties. Why?
Yeah.
And like the tummy
The
being like
the
vacuum
thigh-
sealed.
Oh my god, it is vacuum seal. Yeah. So next is
This is a bad
Mikoto. Mikoto is
My
really interesting.
her,
Yeah,
I love
Very
her.
sparkly.
But then the other one, she's decidedly not shiny at all.
So here it's sort of blue, and it's just completely desaturated here.
The interesting thing about her is that in Magia Record, there was the Mirror Labyrinth. That was a core mechanic of the game from day one.
Uh-huh.
And this is the magical girl who would become the Mirror Witch.
Oh.
Hence,
I want to know about Mikoto so badly, dude. She was briefly mentioned in an event in Magia, etc., and I'm like, yes, tell me more. And I hope, etc., like when the rest of Magia Records story gets added to it, I want to know more because she seems cool.
her weapon is a mirror.
Is a mirror.
I see.
Having her look desaturated here kind of fits, and also because like if there's no light here, then there wouldn't be any if like
Okay.
so mirrors are like the whole thing, and so light reflection blah blah blah.
Okay,
I don't know, that's my justification. She's pretty and I like it.
I do like
You
the
know what?
design on
No,
the
with
whole.
the
The
explanation,
she passes the vibe
My
check.
only thing before was the fact that it was kind of just like a neutral design, but like with the explanation and
For
also
me,
the fact
she
that
passes the
I
vibe
do
check.
like that the monotone design is contrasted by the bright iridescent blue hair. It's a very good choice.
Even though I've never met her in game as, you know, a magical girl, the way the story was revealed and stuff, when I saw this design and I was like, oh, that's the Mirror Witch, I felt like, yeah, I like that. That's good, yeah. So for me, that's kind of the critical point there. Now we go to the side girls.
Playing card poker theme. I am already sold.
So her name is Yukika.
A little
This
bit
is a
of
great design.
bunny.
It's sort of like an Alice in Wonderland type.
Yeah, the white rabbit.
Yes. Wait,
Poker
is that...
Alice.
That's a
That is her
ponytail!
Yeah.
That's
But then it looks like a
brilliant.
ponytail.
Detail. God, Ruby, you're right. That looks so cool. That's
Yeah.
so cute.
I
That-
like her.
Give me
She
my,
has a
my boob
rapier.
line back.
Yeah.
Wait a
Every
minute.
woman deserves a sword.
I like this one a lot.
Honestly, this is a good design. That
Yeah.
choker with like the hot soul gem.
That's fine.
Hi, I want that. So,
She looks great.
No, this one rules.
if
Like,
you had
there's
to
a
force me
theme-
at gunpoint to cosplay any sort of magical girl.
This
it'd be
one.
This one.
This is the
Nice.
one.
Whatever. Sure,
Hell
that's
yeah.
fine.
Next is Samugi.
Oh, okay. Huh. I
She
mean,
likes
The ocean? I assume it's just an ocean theme with
No.
the trident.
That's not
oh,
a trident.
What?
That is, it pulls apart into a fork and a knife because she's another foodie.
Okay.
I'm not sure how well it's properly communicated in this
Green
design.
is a choice.
The bright green is a choice. Is
Green
she supposed
keeps
to be
becoming
related
a
to the
theme
other
with
food
us.
girl
Yes,
that we had last
literally
time?
yes.
Sense.
So Monica, she was a chef.
Yeah.
And
she
you
had,
knew
like,
that
this
immediately,
Red, she had like
and-
this red color scheme going on, so to have a matching one in green makes sense.
Yes,
Well, I'm gonna be because I want to snap.
I have clipped now.
But it
in
doesn't work on
every-
its own.
It fails in every way that Monica worked because Monica looked like a chef and had little food designs. She had little apple
Yeah.
slice type things. Her soul gem was a carrot. This girl, I mean, it can be, I guess.
The only thing that I could say is like related is like the little apron guy that she has on her.
Yeah, but that's
Two.
like barely
That's
anything.
literally it though. So
The evidence is clear with the fact that I thought it was an ocean-themed one with a trident before I even thought of the possibility of being
I
food.
do find it
Like-
really funny that it does break into a knife and fork.
That's a very cool thing. However, with the greens and the blues and the trident, you
Yeah,
are
the color
just
scheme-
given
that-
ocean.
Yeah, no. Also, this is just a bad design.
Yeah, no, I don't like how focused the chest is.
That is an issue. Could we ask the
Oh,
age
no,
just in
how
case?
Oh, god damn it. 14.
I kind of had a feeling. Yeah.
So this
Oh.
is mocha.
Interesting.
I assume
Does-
it's a scythe.
Or an axe.
No, it's a battle axe.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes!
Is she coffee related? Because her name is Mocha?
She is chocolate related.
Oh.
Her wish was for a limited sweet that she really wanted.
Valid of her, but what is her age, can I ask?
15, 16.
15, 16. Okay.
I think
not
that's
bad.
this is not a bad design.
I actually
for...
really like
That
this
is
one in
just the
general.
chest that was concerning to me.
I
really.
mean, yeah,
That's not
but
bad.
again, I think this is a case of that was not a thought that crossed their mind.
No, that's fine.
She looks
it's
like an
a little
adorable
meringue.
little chocolate truffle. I love her. Like good use of brown.
Hell yeah.
Brown is an underrated color.
And they use it well.
With the red, I love the powdered sugar
It looks like
look
syrup.
on her
It's got
skirt.
cocoa powder.
It's so cute.
Also, my one, I guess, complaint, quote unquote, is just the star decorations that are on her skirt. Just are straight up PNGs.
They're all PNGs.
Okay, shut up. It does just have a random normal bow on the middle part, and I
Well, I think
don't
that's a
know
style
why that's
bow.
there. But like you could have just had it be the other one.
I have no idea.
I don't like that part.
So this is Maria.
Oh my goodness.
Is this meant to be like a nursery-based design?
It looks like
Yes,
that
she is
got
kind of a
animals.
nurse thing from what I can tell. Her wish was please save that child's life.
Aw.
And her weapon are animal hand puppets.
That's really cute.
Oh,
So
that's really cute.
I think I actually really like this. My only problem, the soul gem weirdly just kind of being under her chest. I find that placement
yeah.
a little odd. But aside from that, I think the design
This
is
works.
This one's pretty good. The only thing that I may have complaints about are just like the arm poofies.
No, the arm poofies are a fault. Just give her sleeves. Give her whole sleeves. Why also I don't like why does
The
she
tiny
have
patch of skin in between the
Yeah,
the
why does
sleeves?
she have it
That
like
is
go like that
unnecessary. The
and
poofies
then
don't bother me, the
this
skin
and then
there bothers me.
yeah, just
I
give
don't
her
like
a
that very
whole
much either.
dress.
I like this though. It's really cute.
So this is Mikura.
Ooh,
I
Huh.
genuinely don't really
she
know anything
I don't
about
know
her.
she
anything
looks
about
very
her.
bookish.
Yes, so apparently, like, she is history and stuff. Her wish was to make the excavation of a kofun a reality, so her feeling historic is very much related to all of that.
I can also see in some of her like an excavator, like, you know, like you'd see like on the History Channel or whatever the hell.
The main thing is, like, she's a little historian girl.
Yeah.
I like
The
how...
flowers on
So
her
I'll be
ears are
honest.
interesting. What I like is that the skirt and like the back, like billowy sort of like petticoat
Yeah.
look.
So fluffy.
It just looks like a big book.
So that is
They're cool though.
her, and I really like it.
It's a confusing design, like how it's layered and stuff, but
And
I like how
her
it looks
weapon
though.
is cool. I think this is solid.
Next is Seira.
Oh.
Um,
Oh.
her weapon is a
Doesn't look
megaphone.
like a magical girl. This looks like a League of Legends character.
I think that's a bit of an insult.
I literally just noticed how
No, do you see?
protruding her boobs are.
No,
Why?
I just like that
don't like
heavily. No.
Can we have the age of this character, please?
Oh, you know it's gonna be young.
So it's 16. So it
Really?
could be worse, but it's still not great.
You can't
It's
tell me
not
that.
great, but it could be so much
You,
worse.
you can't tell me that she looks 16 for one thing.
Oh
Stars-
my god, and
Oh, and she's got her entire ass crack out. That's fun.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What I like is that the hood kind of looks like a bearded dragon, and
I do like
I
that
do
it
like
looks
that.
like a monster.
And then what I noticed, maybe it has something to do with the megaphone too, but she's got like these clappers on her shorts.
Oh shit, you're right.
so her wish was, I want to always have enough funding to film my movies in the future. So yes.
Hell yeah. I mean, then the question is, why is the rest of it like that? I feel like this could have been an excellent design if different things had happened. I think if you just keep like the head and the hood and changed everything else.
Well,
Then it would be good.
I feel like the shorts could work if you just pulled those strings tighter.
Well,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Or have the weird cutouts that like just fucking
Is-
have straight.
There's not even anything
across.
underneath that one, which is worse.
I don't know, man, but yep.
All right, well, neat.
This is Tamari.
painter.
Ooh, she got pink. Yeah.
I like the ink splotches. It's a very nice touch.
I'm looking at the rest of it, and I don't know how I feel.
I kind of like her.
Her tits are definitely out there.
Well,
though.
yes. So her weapons are not paint brushes, rather they are calligraphy brushes.
Oh.
Because-
Oh, even better. Those
fancy.
Stacy likes to
she's
focus on the
she's
weapons.
neat.
I like her design. I would maybe have a few little tweaks.
Somehow the live 2D model looks better.
No, that's
I don't know
fair.
how exactly, but
Next is Hotori. She's a
again,
to be a Power Rangers.
it's giving the same Super Sentai sort of deal.
yes.
Yeah, I like that.
I actually like this design. I'm gonna be real.
I
It's-
really hate how it's rendered, though. Why is your outfit so baggy?
It's like so baggy, but also really tight too.
Yeah, again, the chest is vacuum sealed, even though it's very baggy.
Yeah.
I feel like in concept
I
this is really
mean,
good, but in,
concept,
execution
yeah,
I don't
it's
like
cute.
it. Can we
Yeah.
please get her
Yeah.
age? Because she is very small.
She is 13.
Okay.
So-
I dislike it still. The
It's-
middle section just looks so blobby and weird that like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't
it's
even
odd.
get it.
Okay, so that was Hitori. Next is her twin sister, Rion.
Okay. There's a very different vibe here. She's just a magical
That's
girl,
still-
but like
that's-
pouty.
So I think that is very much the thing it was going for. Was like Sentai, and then this is Magical Girl.
I like this one better. I think just it's executed better than the other one was.
Yeah.
Too busy
This
for
is
me,
probably
man.
me being nitpicky, but I'm not sure if the black works here.
I like it as a contrast, at least. In a bubble, too, I like this pretty okay.
I feel like it's too much.
I think it's the black and the blue being there.
Yeah, the
like-
blue
like-
is not necessary.
The more I look at this, the more I'm just like, do a different design. Just start over.
With both of them, just do it again.
Meh on both of them.
Yeah.
Meh.
I like this one better, at least.
Yes. So next is Megaru.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's someone that she immediately reminded me of. I was thinking of Trucy from Phoenix Wright.
I don't.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
yeah, you're
I
right.
don't know.
The more I'm looking at it, now that we've had a second, I am liking less of it.
Incredibly short shorts. 'Cause
That's not
so-
the worst thing, but it's
True.
not great.
But
They got
I
little,
feel
the little
like
slits in the side too. Those don't need to be there if they're that short.
yeah. I personally, because she's sort of like a performance thing.
Yeah,
Just performance, all that stuff.
I do like her little pointer.
No, the pointer's adorable. I feel like it should have just been like a leotard. I just don't like those kind of shorts that feel like they.
At the very least, there could have been something underneath the shorts and
Yeah.
the top.
Actually-
I don't like the fact that the already incredibly short shorts have slits on the
yeah.
sides.
Exactly. I mean, my last complaint is just again, dumb little hat.
Oh, leave her alone. That's
Why?
cute.
It's gonna fall off her goddamn head. She's
There's
already
a
got-
headband.
Yeah, she has a headset on. She doesn't need a hat.
Why is there a gap in the clothing specifically for the belly button?
Oh, you know.
I don't, Raven. That's what I'm asking.
No, you do.
you know.
No, the thing that I don't
I
like.
don't want to know.
At least she has like attached sleeves.
Thankfully, yes. All that being said, I like this one.
So next
After
one
all
is
that.
Akari.
Oh, God, this one.
Just check.
What
Okay.
is
So,
immediately?
uh
Uh-huh.
okay, so let me just
Okay, so it requires an explanation
I don't like
first.
That you're delaying this answer.
So her wish was to make me a 16-year-old just like Mimiko-chan, who was an anime character she really liked.
How old was she before that?
So this is what she looks like untransformed.
Uh-huh.
She is 11.
Now the cops are coming
Holy
after us now.
Why is
Don't,
there
don't go back to the
that much
transformed
cleavage on
form.
an 11-year-old?
Because she's 16 now.
Yeah, so actually,
Which,
okay.
you know, doesn't
It's-
excuse it.
Bitch is 11.
Let me pull out my magical girl historian.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of earlier magical girl stories, instead of the classic battle heroine, a lot of them involved a young girl who, when they transform, they get physically older. So I believe that is what this is hearkening to. It is not done well.
No, it really isn't, and I despise it, frankly.
It's terrible.
So to me, what I don't get is like she weirdly has like low-key Valkyrie vibes.
I don't know where you get that from.
That's
Is it just because she has a
of the
bunch of wings? I
Yeah.
don't think that
It
that's
was.
supposed to be part of it.
No, it looks like a guy's idea of a
Give
Valkyrie.
This 11-year-old actual pants.
Yeah, in a,
Well,
in,
so-
in a
so that's-
leotard.
The tits and the massive gap underneath the cleavage as well. Just
So,
it's just this.
Just get rid of the cleavage.
The leotard is not the most offensive part of this, I feel like, because,
It's not good. It's not helping anything.
well, no, but like dance classes and stuff, you wear leotards.
This is not in that context.
Okay,
friend.
fair.
Do
No,
you
you're
see?
right. I'm grasping.
I can understand the influence of being like, okay, so it's a young girl, she wants to be older, like, that's fine, that's a thing. That doesn't excuse her to look like this.
There's a lot going on with her.
I just don't like this one mainly because it's not good. It's just a bad design.
So
The color palette is the only thing that is even slightly redeemable.
the context that she is 11 aside, the
I still
design.
don't like it.
Okay.
It's still bad.
Okay, moving swiftly onward.
Please.
Next is Hotaru. Hotaru
Sleepy.
is delightful,
Beepy.
and
Her
he's
design
so is perfect.
I
No complaints. Honestly, I just want to take a nap.
I do really like the commitment to just this little
The sleepiness.
sleepy nap time
I-
frilly
The
thing.
big killer bow is great.
Yeah.
It's just
no,
like
that's-
imagine like a 4-year-old kid and like your bedroom looks like this.
Yes, that's exactly the vibes, dude.
Yeah.
also like the soul gem being in like a moon.
Yeah, no, it's adorable.
I was wondering if that was it.
So this is Chica.
I like her.
And immediately I need to like say what I was thinking when I saw this image. I did not see the black that is her in her sleeve. I thought that the white was just the continuation of her arm.
Oh, ew.
And I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
it was really weirdly bent.
There's a lot going on, but I do enjoy this.
What are the vibes?
This aesthetic.
I enjoy the foresty druid vibes.
Yeah.
Correct.
I feel like that's pretty much all that it's giving her, like
Yes.
fairy-ish.
So-
I also like the little plant on her.
Yes,
leg,
no,
too.
the
I
plant.
want her scarf.
The
It's
scarf
so
is really cute, honestly.
She's cute.
And the little headdress.
You know, I used to, looking at her at a glance, I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But no, I like it.
Yeah. this is good.
It
This
actually
is good.
makes sense once you parse it out.
So next is Yuna.
Whoa, whoa.
She also requires some explanation.
Okay.
So-
first of all,
the Queen fucking Elizabeth into a magical girl.
incredibly
I'm pretty
ostentatious.
certain that's actually canon.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
So, in the story of Magia
We'll get there.
Record, Mommy, a character from the original series, gets this kind of like Christmassy-esque power-up. It is a whole deal. But so, Mommy, in that form, once saved Yuna, and Yuna's wish to be a magical girl was she wanted to be like Mommy in that form.
This is definitely evoking very traditional, like weirdly specifically like English monarch vibes.
I just realized her hair.
Yeah, she's got the thing in her hair, but I can't remember what it's called.
Well, no, only one side of her hair is braided.
Oh, I see what you mean now. I was wondering if that was on both
wondering,
sides,
I
but
was
no,
like-
yeah. Can we just comment on the giant fucking crown?
Yep, it
This-
certainly
So
is big.
ugly.
This bucket, this
no,
pumpkin on her head.
I definitely dislike it. I wish it was, you know, like a-
Honestly, in this
You
context,
could pick her
compared
up and
to
move her on a chessboard.
compared to the last one that had a really stupid fucking hat.
oh, the roller skating girl.
Yeah, no, that one was dumb. This one I feel like
Yeah.
fits more.
So next is June.
Oh,
Can
June.
I explain a little bit? Let me.
We'll get
So-
the age and then explain.
So she is 16.
Okay.
June's gimmick is that she seems kind of like a shady drug dealer,
Yeah,
but it's just candy.
I see that.
She's a really fun character. She's really cool and nice. Unfortunately,
Did they have to pose her like this?
She looks like that.
This.
and also why
Why
like
do we see the
near-
underboob?
Nearly her entire tit is out.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
did they make this fucking girls look like that?
I don't
I'm
know.
not happy. Here's the thing: is just like if you're gonna have like an open jacket, fucking have it open. Why have it zipped at the bottom?
That does seem very difficult to move around. in.
No. Or no
I
comment
do like
of
the little creature.
yeah,
on
the
shoulder,
little
that's probably
guy.
The
Is
only
that,
redeeming quality.
is that a little jellyfish with
No,
a
so
wand?
so her weapon is it's a squid snack skewer.
Oh.
Yes, so she has a little squid on her shoulder.
Me
Okay, that's
desperately
cute.
trying to
Next
explain
is Say.
the
Ooh,
designs.
interesting.
I like the vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
The vibes.
No, it's
Oh.
interesting.
It is interesting.
I like the bright colored gems, like contrasting with like
Yeah.
the black colors of like the dress and everything.
Oh.
And
Oh
She's got wings in her dress.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
It's very much a performative thing. That's her. I don't know anything about her as like a personality.
In terms of vibes alone,
No,
this
the
slaps.
vibes are pretty
This
pretty
slaps hard.
slapping.
This one is neat.
So next is
hello.
Rui.
Ooh, whoa. This is neat.
I'm
Rui
glad
I
you think
like
so.
this.
I don't like
What is
it.
the age of this character?
Yeah.
16.
Okay.
I still think the shorts need to be like
Yeah,
existent.
I don't understand what's
Existent.
happening in the shorts area entirely.
I like there's like this loop going around her.
How what? How does that even attach?
I have no fucking
So
clue.
I mostly just dislike how I'm assuming that's her soul gem. It's
Yeah.
literally just stuck on her hip.
Mm-hmm.
The fabric that's like wrapped around her legs. Where's the upper section of that? Like, where's
I-
that attached to?
I mean,
'Cause it
well,
looks
like,
it's
you've
just
got-
floating.
Wait,
yeah,
what?
it's like back.
No, she's got like a coat.
Um,
Oh wait.
I'm not
hold on, what?
That's her hair.
No, and then like the coat for her top part too. Like, where does that? How's that?
This is giving me Final Fantasy.
From what I can tell, looking at the general info on the wiki,
Yeah.
she's a bit of a cutie. Her wish was for Cube to heal her precious familiar's eyes, referring to her pet cat. So all of that,
Explains the cat soul.
along
yeah.
with the pose and everything,
The eyes.
says
Okay.
that she is kind of a dweeb. So that somewhat redeems the stupidity of this outfit.
I don't think it does, but
I just-
it does make sense. Some of the things that you've brought up, but also this design is all over the place.
Next is Ryoko.
So this person is fire.
Let's see, how's this look? I could in that. I probably should add in that extra frame. Do like that. That's good. Oh, thanks, Faf. Hello. Yeah. So, by the way, this whole thing that I'm animating is like a new little ending card thing because I have patrons now. I have 2. Wow. So, and one of the things is like, yeah, having your name in the credits. So, I gotta do that now. And I feel like I should make it a little special, you know. Oh, your work ASMR, you're welcome. It's mostly just my video, like, because I'm not really... I am occasionally making commentary, it's fine. And also the sound of me eating these, like, popcorn chips. It's like they took the experience of eating popcorn and the taste and stuff and made it a chip. And it's fucking... It's a godsend. Holy fuck. Like, my world has been changed. But yeah. Also, the music is by Raven because they are awesome. Okay, let's see. Wait, let me just move everything up just a little bit. Oh god, that looks terrifying. Okay, let's oh god. Oh no, wrong thing. Wait, where's the background? There's the background layer. Let's lock you. And then now let's drag all of it. Oh god. Oh yeah, no, Raven fucking is a music man. Raven is the music man. Man? Like, yeah. So I was like, hey, could you make me like a little song for my, you know, how like YouTubers have their cool music and they were like, yeah, sure. And I sent them a bunch of examples of like kind of the vibes, and then they made this, and it's really cool. All right, now let's see how this looks. Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah, let's go again. I feel like maybe I should have in that extra frame. Yeah, I feel like I need this extra frame here to the wind up, and then I can just have the little spinny, and then I also need to add the tail. The tail's very important. I'm trying to get this done before the 19th. Because I'm going to be putting this on, like... Because I have a video about Fragaria Memories that is basically done. But first I need to... I want to get this done so that I can be like, oh yeah, I've got patrons now, and I gotta... Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing. Literally, everything I have done. Like, I don't... Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. It's too long. Too many frames showing at once. I don't know how I got here, man. It's like, wow, cool YouTuber person. And I'm like, I don't know how I got here, man. Holy shit. I just kind of ended up here, but, so yeah, and I want to do something cute and fun, and I am an artist, and I have the ability to do it, so I will. Anyway, her.
And that's it.
Literally. I mean, this is a pretty solid design. The blue, I'm questioning a little bit, but it kind
I
of
can
works.
understand the blue if it's still fiery, because, like, you know, blue fire and all that. It's an interesting contrast.
So next is Kushu.
Huh.
I don't.
Why is Kushu the only Arc 2 girl in Etc.? How did she get in? Why are you here?
Even remember downloading this image.
This looks like a character from Arknights. I mean, I like the posing, and I actually do like the design. The like contrasting blue and red with the whites is actually kind of nice.
I can get behind, like, the vibe behind this, but the execution of some of the things just looks weird.
Yeah.
It looks a little too off-kilter, I think.
I feel like this is like a warrior or a knight or something.
Probably,
along those lines. I was getting knight vibes.
But also,
or like militia.
But like bat.
I also thought a knight. Weirdly, she's more moth themed.
Hey, I'm literally the dumbest person alive. The wiki literally says she is vampire themed, she is bat themed, but my brain jumped down to where it says that her doppel is based on Mothman, and we spend the entire time complaining about how, oh, she's not a moth, she's a bat. Clearly she's a bat. Why does it say she's a moth? That's because she's not a moth. She's a bat. She's a vampire. I am so stupid.
In a vacuum, this design is great.
Yeah,
but
we spent
but
literally
what
the
it's
whole
supposed to
time
represent, it's
just
It's a
being-
failure. It is a failure in that sense.
Yep.
And even then, I'm still just like,
There's a quick little side thing of Puella Historia. It's called Arc 2.5, but here's Kamisato Ayaka.
yeah.
That's not her name. Her name is Suyu.
Yeah,
But, I mean-
this is literally Ayaka of Genshin, except with more purple,
Yeah.
which I don't like anyway.
So
it doesn't look good on
tell
here.
me your thoughts.
This one's boring.
I mean, it's also just a samurai girl.
It's so straight laced. Like, she's not even having fun. I don't.
Not even
I don't
having
care
fun
for
with
it.
it.
Also, it's
It's
literally
okay.
just Ayaka of Genshin.
Yeah.
They're the same.
So next is Chizuru.
See, this one is good.
This is
Finally.
tasty.
Oh well.
Yeah.
The
Oh, wait,
realization.
why is there
And then
gaps
there's-
on the side there?
And then there's the hips. Where are your
Why is the
pants?
soul gem there? Is another case
Is
of the
that-
soul
It's
gem?
it's just slapped on there.
What the fuck?
It's literally just slapped on
I
there
actually
again.
didn't notice that
Okay,
until that
um,
moment.
Why is she literally
Fill
just
out
wearing
those
a
gaps,
puffer
put the soul
jacket?
gem literally anywhere else, and we would have had a good design.
I don't think.
Tripped at the finish line.
I don't even think it's that good outside of that, because, like, why is she just wearing a puffer jacket?
This is a jacket that I would wear, Raven.
Well, I mean, you can wear it, but with the rest of it?
Next is one that I think will have some discussion. Her name is Ebony.
Oh god, her.
Oh boy.
Oh.
From what I can tell.
Give me the explanation before I rip this to shreds.
Yeah.
So what I can tell, she is
Uh-huh.
not an Egyptian-inspired magical girl. She is living in Alexandria.
Okay.
Like, she is from Egypt.
Where the fuck is her melanin then?
She's so
Was she from
pale,
Rome
dude.
and, like, immigrated there or something?
I mean, but, like, people from Rome were also tan, because that's the Mediterranean.
I mean, they could have been. At least this
Just
would have been
any-
a better
any-
skin tone for someone who's from, Rome than
As someone
fucking
who is
Egypt.
Middle Eastern, this is shit. and I hate it.
This is shit, and I hate it too.
So the trivia says, due to the fact that Egypt was controlled by a Greek dynasty and had close ties to the Roman Empire during the time period of her event, it's possible her family may be Greek or Roman instead of Egyptian.
Maybe.
I do not think that excuses anything. So
This is just bad.
lack of skin tone
Design-wise,
aside,
Why?
she's wearing strips.
Yes.
The age.
Oh, yeah.
She actually doesn't have an age listed. It's just unknown.
Okay, well,
Lovely.
cool. Why does she beat people up with the sensor? What I'm assuming
no,
is the
she,
sensor.
like,
Had
casts
one of those
spells
things in
with the
real life.
sensors.
Yeah, that shit could hurt.
I figure
actually.
that they would be pretty heavy. I do like the peacock on her head.
No, the peacock,
That's
good.
Everything else, you might as well not be wearing clothes, honey.
Covering. There's nothing. This.
It does just enough to do the job.
She genuinely, some of her art genuinely looks like it's from, like, a porn game. It's, why does she look like this? Why this one character?
Sure, I guess.
I dislike this.
Yeah.
Go away. Get her out of my sight.
Okay, next is...
Also, where the fuck is the waves in her hair? She's gonna be even remotely Middle Eastern or Greek. Like, bitch, your hair does not look like you came from the ocean. Japanese artists represent any other culture challenge impossible.
The bar is
She's
high.
so funny.
Fuck. Next is Olga.
Okay. We have a Norseman.
The problem is she looks terrible.
She does look. I mean, the
I'll
weapons
be
are cool.
honest.
I feel like it's just the art style that makes her look like shit.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah,
Well,
look, I don't think there should be a divot in what is, like, her, like, loincloth, like, thing that's covering, like, her front.
This is.
But honestly, I'm not upset by this design as much as, like, you guys are.
This could be. I'm not terribly upset by
I
it.
was.
I've just,
This
I
was
don't-
my
I don't
breaking
like the
point.
witch.
What's
but it's
like
not the
this
worst.
this art too specifically
I really.
like with her
I mostly
thigh.
just dislike that art.
Why does she also have a midriff? If you're gonna be a fucking Valkyrie, prepare for battle, dipshit. I don't care if
I
you
got
can
so
live
mad
through
and I
your
don't
stomach
even
being
know
sliced
why.
open as long as your soul gem is okay.
I like
you
how this-
look bad.
I like how this is the one where you're getting so incensed about it when we've seen like 20 other people who look almost the same.
So
Yeah, no, this is where you draw the midriff line.
Yes.
So look for magical girls. I don't know why this specifically. I'm like, you don't look ready for. I think it's because she's supposed to be like a Valkyrie, a knight, a whatever thing. I don't like this actually.
I at least commend them for their knot work on the skirt part. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that's.
that is very cool.
This is Gunhild.
Again, put your clothes on, please.
This one I also.
Fenrir.
Yes, that is the thing.
There are parts of this that I like, but as a thing in and of itself, this sucks.
Girl looks bad.
This
Yeah.
sucks.
Why the
Choices that are
Historia
not
ones
good
look
here,
so
mainly
bad?
with like the pants and the chest
I
covering.
don't know
that
what's
just-
happening with
Just
the pants.
put a little bit more effort into covering the chest and like
She's just got a belt under there for nothing,
Yeah, I don't.
and then like half a coat.
Oh my god, this art is worse.
Oh, that sucks. Actually, I would say the one thing I do like about this design, just like as a thing that exists, that big old gauntlet is cool.
No, the gauntlet's always cool.
No, that's dope.
this art is not great and doesn't answer any of my questions.
Why
What's
is-
up with the perspective on this?
It's bad.
Why is her body so large and her legs so small?
It's
Like,
bad.
that-
The answer is it's bad.
I don't know.
I think it's very funny also the contrast between, you know, just like fucking anime girl and this hyper realistic wolf pelt
Yeah.
with so much texture and
Yeah.
fur.
So next is Herika.
There's a
It
okay,
says
so yeah, go
she's from Tibet.
on. I don't know enough about Tibet to tell you anything.
I don't either.
Only
None of us
thing-
do.
Patterns.
There's-
Full on design.
There is a lot. Mostly, this is just a very big amount of stuff on her for
It's cluttered.
reasons.
That's my issue.
Cluttered,
with it.
yes.
There's a lot
Yeah.
going
That's
on
the
and a
word
lot
that I
to
was
look
looking
at.
for.
A lot.
It's very full on and it's a lot to look at and your eyes don't know where to look.
Yeah, it's just incredibly
And
busy.
some of the color choices is making it struggle for me to see what is skin and what
I
is
think
not.
literally every color on the rainbow is on this character, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah. So next is Toyo. She
Uh,
is the successor to
Done.
Queen Himiko. I don't know who that is, but she is based off the real life Queen Toyo.
Evidently,
Her
Japan,
sleeves
yes.
are too big for her goddamn her.
They are incredibly long. She is definitely giving Vessel of Amaterasu.
Oh God, sneeze.
Actually, I have no real issues with this design.
I think it's just kind of a lot, but it's
Okay,
not
no.
bad.
There
It's
it
actually
goes.
pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Of course, taking, Japanese traditionalist things, of course they would know what to do with that. Is the giant metal sun just for aesthetic?
Yes.
Cool.
So
Not a
next is a
weapon.
little bit of a fun case. Her
Oh.
name is Amaryllis.
I
Okay.
fucking love her.
D6. There's a D6.
So just tell me,
Part of me, I wanted to make a joke like, not everything is fucking D&D, but like, whatever. It's die, man. Come on.
tell me your impressions of her. What do you think of her?
She is a woman.
Yes.
That's it.
Dark Bride is what I'm getting.
A little bit of
Ah,
a
no.
mourner's look, like the kind of person who would have killed her husband.
So, but it's interesting that you mention a mourning type thing.
Ah, no.
Because her story, she's a Roman magical girl from ancient Rome. Specifically, she served as a maid of honor to a prominent family in Pompeii.
Okay.
The realization.
Okay. I see where you're going with this, I think.
Yes.
Well, that also explains like the gold laurel on
Yes.
her dress too. But also, they didn't dress like that.
And she's kind of a time traveler.
Interesting.
I don't know all the details.
that's
of her
why
story.
and-
that's why the cube has Roman numerals on it.
She can turn into other people, and other people will ignore inconsistencies on her impressions. I don't know her story
That is
completely,
fascinating.
but I think the concept of her being a magical girl from Pompeii
Where'd the rest of the sketch go?
and having time travel
Where'd the rest of the sketch
like
go?
as part of her story with these mourning elements, I think that is extremely fun.
Ah!
I think her in the context of like this clearly like history inspired thing with her
Okay,
being like a
there
time
we go.
traveler sort of.
I think
Is
it's a very
interesting.
good design.
Yeah.
I like it.
No,
I
think it's
don't
cool.
so I don't know how all these elements come together, but with knowledge of all these elements, I think that's just fascinating. I do
like her.
wish that her dress and her outfit was a bit more like ancient Rome inspired. I wish we saw more of that, but
I agree with that.
just as a nice outfit,
I love the fact that
it's really
because of
cool.
her
Yeah,
event,
I like it.
I think
because of her event, Pliny the Elder is a character in Magia Record. That's incredibly funny to me.
I actually love her a whole lot. So that was Arc 2 of Magia Record design reviews.
Wow.
It was harder this time because I've never played Arc 2, because I was never given the chance, Aniplex. But Magia Record, both in Japan and the North America, is over. Sadness, but there's still a lot more designs.
And now we
I'll
have
make
Magia
these two look at
Etc.
those later.
Oh, good.
But for
Ow.
now,
Oh, my knee hurts.
Magia record.
Magia Record! Woohoo!
How long will you make me suffer?
Magia Record.
So yeah, that's neat. Wait, let me get another video going. You know, fuck it. Let's do Utakata put me in the hospital.
You know, I'm not.
Because that shit happened to me. Yeehaw.
You know, I'm not really sure how to properly explain the experience I just went through. So, while doing research for my Magical Girl
Oh, wow,
Disrespect
10
video,
people, hello.
I went to the Wikipedia page for Minky Momo, just for some very basic information. And there I saw this strange little sentence saying that Minky Momo helped to pave the way for darker Magical Girl shows. What?
So mad that
There was a
Etc. doesn't
citation
have
next
friends
to
as a
that
thing. I
insane
know, right?
statement,
Well,
which
hey,
links
hey,
to
hey,
this
Faf,
article
Faf,
on Anime.
Faf.
You can join my union. It's for Project MoQ, but I don't think it's completely full yet, so I could be like, hey guys, is it cool if a non-Project MoQ person joins the union? 'Cause my buddy, I have a buddy. Anyway, a news network that listed 6 groundbreaking shoujo deconstructions. Just another By the way, I have a thing. I have a thing that I'm gonna say in my, like, whenever I do a sort of follow-up to my Magical Girl Disrespect video. But, like, nobody knows what a deconstruction is. If you look up deconstruction, you'll find a whole lot of history and shit about how some, I think, French dude coined the term in academia, and then spent the rest of everything, like, not giving it a solid fucking definition. So, like, the term deconstruction doesn't actually mean anything, and nobody has a solid definition for it, because, like, it was never meant as, like, a term for media. It's like, it's one of those things that, like, you have to do research on, like, 5 other guys to even begin understanding. And, like, deconstruction is not a thing. So, like, nobody, that's a whole rant, as you can tell by the fact that I am starting to go off. So I will cut that off here. But, like I'm just saying, nobody knows what the fuck a deconstruction is, and anybody who calls any anime a blank deconstruction, like, I don't know, now I just automatically distrust them, because it's like, can you explain to me what that means? Nobody can explain what that means. Fucking swear to God. Yeah, man. Left piece article that claims to understand the magical girl genre when very clearly, no, it doesn't. I went back and forth looking at this article, and eventually one show caught my attention, and that was also one of the things that this article says is, like, a magical girl deconstruction, whatever, literally started out as, like, an eroge, and it's like, and oh god, this is another thing. This is your zone, yap as you please. True. This is where I yap. Fuck, I dropped my pen. But, like, okay, so, this, it's a matter of genre, of like, who is a magical girl show for? Because if, like, I feel like it's unfair to judge something like Pretty Cure or Minky Momo or, yeah, it's a TV trope buzzword. Also, please stop using TV tropes as, like, a source for information. Holy shit. But I feel like it's unfair to compare, like, Pretty Cure or Sailor Moon or Minky Momo or anything like that to something like Gushing Over Magical Girls, because the audience for those two things are, the intended audience, I should say, for those two things are so vastly different that, like, they're like, I don't know, it's a weird thing, man. Like, you can't judge one based on the other, because at the end of the day, they were never meant to be similar. You know? I don't know, man. It was Utakata. I can't tell you why this specifically interested me. I think it's because one of the characters' name is Manatsu, and I thought of Tropical Rouge Pretty Cure. But what I can tell you is that I ended up watching it, and I just I knew I had to talk about it. Also, it put me in the hospital. I watched this show, and then I needed my gallbladder removed. It's true. I swear these events are related. Right, so, basics first. Utakata is a 2004 anime series created by Studio... Literally the night that I finished watching Utakata, I was like, hey, Raven, I've had a stomach ache for like 24 hours. I don't think that's normal. Let's go to the emergency room. And then it was like, oh yeah, by the way, you need your gallbladder removed. And I'm like, what? Yeah, baby. Gimmick being an extremely small animation studio that was started by 3 people and has basically done like 3 things. Utakata being one of them. The other 2 are something called Kitty Grade and a sequel series called... I'll be honest, from the name and art alone, I don't trust anyone, like, I don't know, Kitty Grade and Kitty Girl. It's the art and the name and the plot summary, I'm like, oh no, this is probably called Kitty Girl. If this studio has actually done more and I just don't see that, please let me know. I could just be stupid. I feel like this video is gonna be a little scuffed because I am still recovering from getting out of the hospital. So if you'd like to help me pay off that hospital trip, I have Patreon and I post cool things there. Like notes from when I'm watching these shows that I review. Yeehaw. I made a joke that, like, yeehaw is how southern people say fuck
Ichika
it.
is a normal girl excited to spend summer break with her friends. However, on the last day of school, while cleaning out an older school building, she meets a mysterious girl who comes out of a magic mirror. A charm that was gifted to Ichika by one of her tutors, Sei, has had its gems colored. This upsets Ichika, and the only way to return the charm to normal is by using it
Kitty
to access
Grade.
the powers of
It's
elemental
Kitty Girl and
jinn,
Kitty Grade.
spirits of the world that give Ichika their vision for a short period of time. Manatsu asks for Ichika to write about each of her experiences using the Jin's power in a notebook, saying that she wants to experience the world outside of the mirror rather than doing homework. There are 12 stones and 12 episodes in the series, so the game plan moving forward...
So this video actually, oh yeah, genuinely as someone who passed a gallstone, I have no idea how you muscle through it for a day. I had a tummy ache for like 2 minutes and I was immediately like, take me to the hospital, I'm dying. Damn, you actually like passed a gallstone? Fuck, dude. I don't know. Well, and so Faf, here's the important thing to remember. Like, the entire year previously, I've been on and off having stomach issues, and just the same week that I had that 24-hour stomach ache, like, I was teaching at, like, my paint and sip job, and in the middle of a class, I was like, hey, Cassie, I feel bad, my stomach's hurting, I feel really hot, and it like, I couldn't finish my class because I was laying on the floor in the back room in agony. So, like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, I soldiered through the stomach ache. It was more so, it was a rising event. At my, like, post-op appointment, the doctor lady was like, have you been having, like, stomach issues beforehand? And Raven immediately was like, yeah, basically the entire year she's lived here. And the doctor was like, yeah, the gallbladder tells it all. Because they have, like, detailed notes, and I wish I had the wherewithal to be like, can I, like, see a gallstone? Can I, like, keep one? Like, I want to know. I guess, like I'd make a little necklace out of it and be like, this was in my body. Because that's absolutely something I would do. But, yeah, so that was that whole thing. And it was really funny when I did finally go back to, work. And I was like, hey, Cassie, so you remember that one night where I was on the floor and in pain? She was like, oh, yeah, no, I already connected the dots. But now that the problematic organ has been removed, it shouldn't happen again. It was a time. Oh yeah, I was saying, so, like, fucking, I didn't expect the Utakata video to, like, get a lot of, like, attention, because, like, who the fuck has heard of Utakata? But apparently, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, I remember the show, it was really weird. And I'm so glad that, like, that is, like, a universal experience. But then, like, there's also some comments that are like, actually, the show was really good. Well, no, not some. It's, like, 2 or something. And this one person was like, Utakata walked so Madoka could run. And I'm literally, my thought is like, buddy, you just made that up. Who the fuck cares about Utakata? It had no impact on the genre. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the funniest thing is in let's just continue this.
Is each episode, Ichika will use a new jin to do something, and then plot progresses at a rate of some kind. We just sort of watch along as things happen, and things certainly do happen, I think. All while Ichika explores adolescent struggles and slightly supernatural hijinks, she is being watched over by her mysterious neighbor, Saya. Saya is some kind of judge for some form of test that gets mentioned every now and then. What is the test?
I don't know.
Actually trying to put into words what the story of this show is kind of hard. I mean, the basic plot is Ichika meets a mysterious girl and discovers the power of the jinn and all that. But, like, discussing the actual episode-to-episode storyline feels hard because it's so much of...
And, you know, here's the thing.
Not
if people
a lot
enjoyed
happening,
Utakata, I'm so happy for them. I truly am.
There's a weird theme of, like, relationships between boys and girls and, like, hooking up or something. Episode 2, there's this dude who's a friend of one of Ichika's friends, and he's all like, hey, give me your email. And it seems like he's trying to hit on her, and later on this dude feels entitled to be talked to or something. Then he starts chasing Ichika and Manatsu and eventually grabs Ichika, but like accidentally undoes her dress in a specific way so that part of her bra is showing. And then the girl from earlier, Maki, shows up and is like, hey, what are you doing? And he says nothing, and it sure doesn't look like nothing. It looks like you were committing a crime. And then Maki breaks his phone, and
I don't know why
she
she
grabs
did
her
that.
by the neck, and after running off, Ichika uses the power of the moon jin to make a bright light. Manatsu runs back and is all,
Oh
people
my
are
God.
gonna come to the light. And this guy, his name...
Neko Sugar Girls with a higher production value. God damn. No, you're right. The show walked so that Neko Sugar Girls could run. Oh, that's really funny. I love that. Oh, God.
name is Rio, by the
That
way,
allergy
goes
part.
to attack, but then Kai, the other tutor, comes out of nowhere and beats up this dude, and Maki is all like, oh no, Rio! And Kai says that Maki really loves him, and am I insane? Is this a normal occurrence in the lives of barely teenage girls? Because I missed out if so.
Yeah.
God, it's more convoluted speaking it out loud.
This shit's
This
never happened
just
to me. I
feels
don't
like the
get it.
general experience of every episode, if I'm being honest. A character who will only show up for that single episode is introduced. There's some form of teenage melodrama that always has undertones of hooking up, and then Ichika does some unimpressive magic, while mysterious neighbor Lady Saya watches and makes cryptic commentary that by the end of the show still makes no goddamn sense. I'm sort of trying to figure out where the disconnect between me and this show is. Was I expecting something that I shouldn't have? Was there a concept or plot idea that was brought up briefly and then wasn't fully explored? Are there interesting character dynamics that I felt should have been more fleshed out? What is it about this show that makes it so passively disappointing, but also somehow actively boring? Each outfit Ichika has when using the Jin's power vary in quality, honestly. A lot of them are just kind of meh. They take the form of a leotard type thing and often have a midriff, which isn't a problem in and of itself, but with some other information that I will mention later on.
That's good. I think that's good. I think I've hit it. I think I've hit the mark. Let's see. So let's go back to the beginning. Yeah! Okay, I just need to add in the tail now. Oh my god, I'm doing it. Popcorn chips. we can make some assumptions. The sun costume is really cute and simple, and is kind of a good design. The fire design is also good, but it doesn't really feel like fire spirit. It looks like a rose, but I guess that does have some fire association because like fiery passion and roses and whatever, but you know, and when you also have a flower spirit, the fact that the fire one looks like a rose is just kind of, I don't know, man. The ocean spirit costume is really cute though. I like the fish elements and it being a swimsuit type thing. Also, fun fact, at the end, like there's a part in the ending that shows like a different drawing of Ichika made by different people because all the designs were drawn by different people, and that's pretty cool. Some of them are still bad though. Makes sense for a water design.
I don't understand
by
the red
way,
eyes.
we
Did I
never
explain the
actually
red eyes?
see Ichika
I didn't.
writing about her Jin experiences, and that seems like a pretty good plot device that just kind of goes to waste. The story is told in sort of like a retrospective looking back type thing, but not really in the writing journal type thing, and it's like, what? I'll be real, I think these are the most nothing characters I've ever encountered in a show before. I'm sure I've described characters as nothing before, but at the very least, other characters I've seen have had, like, a trope, or a gimmick, or something, but this just feels so... I don't care. And I don't like that. Ichika is the protagonist. Some people who very clearly just kind of don't like, you know, my anime opinions are like, why do you watch it if you think it's bad? And it's like, buddy, I for the most part, I don't go into anything expecting it to be bad. I want things to be good. Like, come on. Plus, also, it's important. It is kind of important to like watch media that you think is bad, because to practice how you analyze things, how you engage with media. Like, because I always, whenever I do watch something that I don't like, or I go into something that I want to like, but then then I end up not liking it, I want to analyze, like, why didn't I like it? Where did it go? Oh, thank you! Yeah, no, I mean, I've been working on it. And I think it's almost there. Obviously, I have to add colors to the rest of the frames, but we're getting there. It's a little cute little whoop-ba-da-ba-da, and then woo whoop. Yay. Hell yeah. Anyway, yeah. Girl. Manatsu is the pixie dream girl who appears and changes the trajectory of her life. Ichika's friends are a tomboy, a rich girl, and low-key spiritual person, I think. I don't know, because despite how important I think the plot wants these side characters to be, they really aren't. Ichika Tachibana is alright as a main character. She's hardworking, earnest, and generally very polite, right down to how she speaks and carries herself. She struggles to express herself because she's always thinking of others, to the point where her parents honestly think she could be a bit more selfish. And as she uses the power of the 12 Jin, she begins to sort of feed into those selfish desires. I think that's the intended idea, except it's presented as she is forcibly transformed and almost possessed. Meanwhile, internally, she's all like, well, what am I doing? No, stop! And it's just weird. Poorly explained, or more likely, not explained at all. Then there's Manatsu. She came out of the mirror and spends most of her time just kind of hanging out, tagging along with whatever Ichika is doing, but noticeably, she subtly stands up for Ichika in situations where Ichika is unwilling to speak up. There's a whole theme of mirrors and such, so Manatsu is sort of like a stronger, more self-confident version of Ichika, but also not really. There are some mysterious dreams Ichika has in the series where Manatsu says she's sorry for killing Ichika, but then Ichika starts strangling Manatsu instead, and I don't I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it means. Huh. Then there's also Sei and Kai, who we are introduced to as twins in the beginning, which becomes incredibly funny in the last episode and the OVA episode, where their vibe becomes a lot more romance rather than brotherly. They both tutor Ichika, and they're pretty normal, except the fact that they aren't. So like a day before the show starts, Ichika sees these two in a park burying something, talking about something that happened 6 years ago, and Kai is all, it's not your fault. And then Ichika shows up and they try to play it off like they're doing a time capsule or something, and for some reason, Sei is like, hey, Ichika, you want this totally not magical charm that low-key traumatized me in middle school? And Ichika super loves it because he has a crush on Sei. This show is so fucking early 2000s. And there is a place for that, honestly, but my god. Oh my god. Like, it's just not... The story is not great. I feel like maybe here... Like, have the tail kind of still be spinning, and then it... I think that'd be fine. But I also think maybe it would be cuter if here the tail kind of did like a little... No. But I can still work with this. Let's see. Let's see. That feels a little too wiggly. You can't have a tail be too wiggly. Well, in that case, I can also just... but that might be too drastic of a difference to get away with. It might work, though. I just gotta adjust that top bit. Weird, because it's not even... The crush isn't even an element that the show super focuses on. Like, it's not really given much attention outside of Ichika almost using the Jin powers to murder pretty Lady Saya out of jealousy because she thinks that she and Sei have a thing for a bit. I've mentioned Saya. She's kind of around, living next door and often just kind of standing around watching the plot happen, and early on sort of making the plot happen by briefly messing with someone to initiate Ichika to act. Why? Not sure. Something about
did I do this on the wrong layer?
And the 7 vices and the 7 ordeals that Ichika must go through or something. I don't know. There's a lot of rules. She talks about rules a lot and how something will break the rules or something. One thing I really, really need to mention is this one scene where Saya is just watering the street. The girls leave the house and are like, oh, good.
So with this, some people pointed out that, like, watering the street is actually like a thing that people do, and I am aware of that because, like, that's a thing that I was taught. The wrong layer curse that I was taught here for the glass shop, and it's like if you wet the concrete, then like that will, like, as the water evaporates, like, that cools the area down, which is true, but I don't think that's what this show was going for. So yeah, I don't know, man. Let's see. It's still on the wrong layer. Okay.
morning, and the camera even lingers on the wet concrete. Why?
No.
Why? Spoiler, but in the end, Saya turns out to be the last Jin, the mirror Jin, and she's doing this whole test thing to judge humanity or something. I don't know. Why does she seemingly age? Why does she look different from all the other Jin? I don't know, man. This show doesn't make sense. Those are the important characters. There is also Ichika's friends who I've mentioned, but they aren't super important. Like, thematically, they are, but in terms of presence and impact on the show, not really. Michiru is basically Hanajima from Fruits Basket, except lame. Her powers don't really do anything. She just basically says she gets a weird vibe from the magical people in the story. Keiko, I think, is the most interesting of the three normal friends, because she's like this airheaded rich girl, but there's some weird stuff with her family. Okay, stick with me. So in one episode, it's summer festival time, and the girls go out and have fun, and along the way they meet this boy whose name I can't remember, and honestly I don't care to look it up. But Satsuki, the last of the three normal friends, knows him from elementary school, and so they hang out, and the boy tells Satsuki, hey, meet me here, I want to talk. But then she waits, and he never comes. So she goes to find him and gasp, he's actually meeting up with Keiko, and they're seen making out, and presumably do other things. Hey Raven, check it. Wait. Yeah! I think I got the spinning to look right. Too. Like, I feel like just this little bit, that's all I really need.
Yeah.
And then it goes, woo! Ah!
Yeah.
And this little, yeah. Yeah. And so now I'm adding the tail. Yeah. Cool. Because when Keiko meets up with the rest of the group again, her yukata is messed up. Satsuki acts like it's fine, but of course it's upsetting her. Well, a few episodes later, Keiko invites the gang to go out on like a date. I need water. return. Ah, God, fucking putting on the little animation glove sometimes is like... It's hard, because, you know, there's only 2 fingers. I wonder, why is it 2 fingers and not just, like, the pinky?
I don't know.
You think that, like, that's just too little glove and it, like, falls off or something?
Probably.
Huh.
Be a little more awkward just to cover the pinky.
Well, no, I mean, you just... I don't know. Anyway. A trip, only to find one of those romantic, if you write your names on a lock and then put it on the fence, then you'll be together forever things, where the boy has written his name with another girl and then shows up with that girl. Dude accidentally sent Keiko a message about the lock thing, and she asks the girls to come with her because she's too scared to check alone, because I guess they were a thing, but then he, like, cheated on her. She says she thinks he doesn't want to be with her because of her family, and we are given no context for that at all. Is it because she's rich? Since she's driven around by a chauffeur and lives in a big house, but, like, wouldn't somebody want to get with a rich girl? My theory is that she's from a Yakuza family. Bringing it back around to Satsuki, she's also there. And after Keiko cries over the dude cheating on her, Satsuki triggers herself by unprompted saying, "Us kids are always getting dragged around by adults." And then we get brief flashes that imply some pretty uncool things happened to her, and that's the last that's ever brought up. Anyway, after they cry together, Satsuki and Keiko hang out more and have sort of a Class S thing going on. Yeah. I spent the entire time watching this show wondering where it was gonna go. What exactly were these events leading up to? But first, minor backstory. So, 6 years ago, Sai met Kai.
Look, I was tired and I didn't really want to re-record, recovering from surgery. But, like, his name is Sei. I have no idea why I pronounced it Sai on multiple occasions. His name is Sei. I don't know why I fucked that up, but I did. And I was too tired to, like, really fix it. So, like, also, who the fuck cares? It's Utakata.
The same mirror that Manatsu did. They palled around together for a summer, all while undergoing the same trial of the Jins, I think. I don't know. Something about rules. Sei used all the same Jin powers in presumably the same order. I don't know. Anyway, ultimately, Sei is hung up against the mirror, and Saya wants to hear what his decision is. We learn what that means later, and he can't choose, and Saya is like, "You can't choose that, now you die." And Kai is like, "No, don't kill him," and said he was gonna take the punishment, but Sei didn't want Kai to die, and then it's been 6 years since then, and I cannot fathom what was even going on in between those events and the current events of the show. Did Saya just say whatever and then left them alone for 6 years? Was the Jin charm just in a drawer somewhere all that time? Why only get rid of it after 6 years? How did Kai go from materialized mirror person to just a guy who seemingly has his own life?
So I think with Saya said that, like, oh, you would live as a human even though, like, your body will eventually, like, grow old, give out, and you'll die. And Kai was like, yeah. So I think that's what it was. Like, so basically, like, Kai became fully human, but, like, it just, fuck, I erased the wrong line. Shit. But, like, that doesn't make the rest of it make sense, so, but, like, that's one thing. So, yeah. Dude plays soccer on a team, and I guess, most importantly, why the fuck did Sei decide to give the magical trauma charm
to a middle schooler he tutors on the side. Anyway, in the last episode, Ichika goes to the house next door and enters the blue gradient void to confront Saya, and she's also pinned up against the mirror. And then Kai shows up, carrying an unconscious Manatsu because she broke the rules or whatever. And oh look, there's Say's statue, because the one time anyone tried to explain what the hell was happening, he got teleported away and punished for breaking the rules by being turned to stone. The gang's all here.
No, you're fine,
Ichika
dude. Also,
is asked
hello.
the same question Sei was unable to answer 6 years ago. Choose which one dies. All of humanity, which you've come to loathe, or yourself, which you've come to hate. And just, what kind of fuck-ass choice is that? What? And her answer is the same as Sai's. She isn't gonna answer that fuck-ass question. Instead, she gives a big, long speech about people changing and growing and learning or whatever. Saya says that's bullshit and tries to stab Ichika, but then Sai breaks out of stone and saves her. Ichika uses willpower to just rip her hands off the restraint spikes and helps Sei, who then passes out. And then Ichika is stabbed, and then Manatsu stabs herself on the other end of the scythe, which, sure, I guess. Kai says he's proud of humanity and he's gonna give back what was used to create him, and goes to kiss Sei before turning back into a mirror shard. Then Manatsu starts getting all bubbly and kisses Ichika before turning back into a mirror shard. Noticeably, they don't cut away from the kiss for the girls.
So, somebody in the comments had, like, a theory that, like, the whole, like, kissing thing, like, because it mirrors something, so it's like, oh yeah, self-love, and I think that's cool. I don't think that was the intended message, and, if it was not done well. Okay, then. Cut to half a year later, Ichika decides she wants to keep living where she is because also, by the way, her dad was getting ready to move for work and Ichika was stressed out about that, and because this was going to be her last summer with her friends, and so she wanted to make the most of it, but they knew all along. And she still has Manatsu's mirror shard, and Saya talks to someone, entity, I don't know, about planning the next test.
The phone.
What is this test? I'm still trying to piece together what the actual reason for anything was here. It's so out there and unexplained, and I'm just... How do you do this? How do you write and storyboard and animate a whole story that just doesn't really connect at all? What was the point of any of this? I am so truly baffled because, like, even in other things that I've watched and felt confused about or thought was disjointed or whatever, I could still, like, see what they were going for. I don't know what's going on here. How do you do this?
You know it's gonna be a good video when I have a section that's just dedicated to the problems.
May have picked up on by now, I did not really enjoy my time watching this show. For various reasons, but I think one of those reasons being I was actively in pain most of the time I was watching it. The most prominent and important was it just was kind of boring. I think the worst thing a piece of media can be is boring and forgettable. There was nothing I really connected to in this series. Not the characters, not their struggles, the music was kind of subpar, and in general I was just left confused and baffled, but not in a way that I'll be thinking about it for years later. I was just kind of like, that was weird. And then I moved on and got my gallbladder removed. Because there were some moments that left me thinking, oh wow, what crazy direction will the show go now? And then it just kind of sat there, doing nothing. The events don't flow together, and I feel like you could just swap the episodes around with some minor changes and nothing would really be impacted. I could be totally unfair to this series, but I can't believe I forgot to mention this in the original script, but one episode, Ichika's school goes to a hospital with dried flower wreaths that they made, or something, and they go to hang them up in the patient's room, but the lady that Ichika made her wreath for gets upset and is all, these aren't real flowers, and destroys it.
Mention it. But, like,
upsets Ichika, and she's forcibly transformed, and the flower djinn makes a bunch of...
But the lady there, the framing of her is so odd,
because for so long in that scene we don't see her face, and so like that implies something that implies like, oh, who is this person, what they must be important. And then she looks like a female version of Say, but they're not related at all. It's never brought up, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? Like, they had 2 character designs. Flowers, and the lady is excited but then suddenly can't breathe. Then when it's over, we get this shot, and this just straight up looks like sexual assault just happened. Actually, what the fuck? But we learn from this lady's sister, who looks so much like Ichika's mom, I was really confused for a while, that the lady really loves flowers and runs a flower shop. But one day, the lady discovered that she has a severe pollen allergy, as in so severe, she goes into anaphylaxis. The show uses that exact word, and let me tell you, as somebody with deep personal experience with anaphylaxis, that is not how it works. If you have been exposed to something your whole life, you're constantly around it, the odds of you developing an allergy to it, let alone one so severe that it can kill you, are so ridiculously low. I am actually dumbfounded by this. Also, this lady was so devastated she spontaneously developed a deadly allergy to flowers that she tried to kill herself, but then lost her memory, and that's why she's in the hospital. But after getting magically induced anaphylaxis, her memory seemed to come back, and, like, literally, what the fuck was that? Huh? Oh yeah, by the way, there's a lot of panty shots. But these aren't your average panty shots, which is a sentence that I just said on the internet. It's like, okay, I've seen a lot of anime in my years, and I've reviewed a lot of anime. Oh god, I'm starting to get meta! But this show feels special in that its panty shots aren't always right in your face. A lot of them are so subtle that you could easily miss it, but miss it in that way where after the shot changes, your brain registers, hey wait, what did I just see? And it's weird. It's weird. And sure, there are discussions to be had and made about panty shots in anime.
No.
When they're done bad, when they're done, I don't want to say good, but when they're done not as bad, I guess. What they could mean within the narrative or whatever. But in this specific show, the myriad of subtle and decidedly unsubtle upskirt and butt shots does not serve any kind of particular narrative purpose. They just flash the audience, and that just kind of takes you out of the story. These moments don't feel like a commentary on sexuality.
I don't know why
don't feel like
Manetsu
an
did
all-out
that.
fan service moment. It just feels weird. It's as if these shots were thrown in simply because, like, that's what anime does, lol. And what? Cutting off that topic, I am an emotional
Cake,
person.
are you straight?
It is in my nature. It isn't hard to get an emotional response out of me.
I am not.
So the fact that I sat through 12 episodes of this series completely
No, we're getting to the
blank-faced
metaphorical cicada.
is
Everyone
not
hush.
really a good sign. And of course, this is a completely subjective thing, and if anyone
The metaphorical
watches this
cicada is
show
important.
and was totally moved by its story and characters, I am truly happy for them. But the most emotional response this show got out of me was, honest to God, the metaphorical cicada. Ichika sees a cicada stuck while molting, so she helps it out, and it's got kind of a jank wing. And she kind of relates to it and relates her struggles to this little cicada. And we see in the next episode it's still in the same spot. Later on, we see
Knew
it
it!
fall off of the wall it was on and onto the road as a car is coming. And later when
Yes,
Ichika
you've
sees
cracked
the
the
crushed
code.
cicada on the road, she
I am,
sort
in
of has
fact,
a breakdown.
Gay.
That cicada being killed was the most I felt anything from this show other than baffled humor. So what started this whole thing was this article being referenced on Minky Momo's Wikipedia page. The article titled 6 Trailblazing Shoujo Deconstructions You Should Be Watching, was released in 2012. And while I hold this entire article in contempt, I want it to be clear and say the same is absolutely not true for its author, because I don't know them. They seem like a lovely person, and also this article was written more than 10 years ago, so I'm not gonna hold this personally against them. So please, don't be a weirdo. The article starts with, Utakata entered the scene quietly when it debuted, and its effect on the American market was similarly small. This is horribly unfortunate because despite some of the series' shortcomings, it turns a lot of typical shoujo elements on their heads. What does that mean? What does that last sentence even mean? Because despite its shortcomings, it turns typical shoujo elements on their heads. How? How does it turn them on their heads?
Yeah.
By being bad? Because this doesn't really feel like a shoujo series at all,
And it
both
wasn't.
in terms of genre or demographic. Then later on, the article goes to say, despite the magical trappings, the series hinges on its portrayal of psychological elements dealing with adolescence, mental illness, specifically obsessive-compulsive.
So, okay, this is another thing that I will say, whatever the fuck I get around to, like, my little sequel to Magical Girl Disrespect thing. Magical Girl shows tackling topics of mental illness is literally nothing new. Holy shit. Like, literally everything that people say, oh, this Magical Girl deconstruction isn't like other Magical Girl shows because it talks about such and such. Fucking look at Okamajo Doremi. Okamajo Doremi probably did it first, but nobody fucking cares about, like people, that is one of the more, like, well-known ones, but, like, will you see any, like, fucking AniTuber talk about it? Really? Unless they're into Magical Girl things? No! Because, like, they don't care! That's not it. Oh my god. It, like, fucking goddamn. Why does nobody want to call Okamajo Doremi a Magical Girl deconstruction for dealing with, like, explicit themes of puberty and racism and motherhood? Because it's too fucking girly. It's too explicitly girly for people to give a shit and for that argument to work. So they don't do it. Gah! Anyway. That's the wrong thing. Disorder and sexual abuse. By the way, also, this article, when talking about Revolutionary Girl Utena, it was like, oh yeah, it's like, there are no doormat protagonists that glorify abusive relationships or like something like that, and I'm just like, hey, as somebody who recently finished watching Utena, like, it seems like you just kind of have a problem with shoujo anime as a whole, because, like, the good ones don't do that, actually, and I think that's a you problem. Like, what are you talking about? I straight up don't understand what this whole bit is. As stated before, the sexual abuse theme is literally in a single episode from a side character in brief flashes, so I wouldn't really call that a defining theme of the series, unless you want to count this whole anime's weird attitude between boys and girls, which, yeah, sure. As for the OCD thing, I straight up don't even know what that's referring to. What? Hello.
I was on the lookout for it, and I saw no such thing. This show is confusing. I don't know what it was going for. I don't know
Where's
what
the
it was trying to
OCD?
communicate. I don't know what I'm trying to communicate. I'm just here. I'm tired. I kind of felt like I'm out of here, man. Also, like, why Jin? The first episode, Manatsu explains them as, like, gods or spirits or fairies, but they say Jin the entire show. Did they just want to be special? Because what do Islamic spirits have anything to do with anything here? I don't... God. What am I doing here?
Hatsune Miku!
Hatsune Miku!
That was what I was thinking the entire time. I have a little bit more time before I gotta, like, head out, but, so, let's do something funsies, and watch the High Guardian Spice video. Haha! Because, I don't know, I feel like there's discussion to be had there. Also, I'm kind of proud of it, so... I'm going to become the Joker.
If you are on the internet in 2018, you have some idea of what this is. And rest assured, I will be leaving no stone unturned. Almost everything about High Guardian Spice that can be discussed will be discussed here. Just maybe not in the way that you think.
I find it really funny because when people were mad at me about my, like, magical girl disrespect video, there was, in that one Twitter thread, which, holy shit, I can't believe I had a Twitter thread, like, about me, sort of, but, like, it was all, like, this is also the same person who made this video, and it was about High Guardian Spice, and I'm like, man, you people need to, like, move the fuck on. Like, oh no, I liked a flawed show. Ooh!
Worked especially hard on this one, so I would appreciate you watching to the very end before coming to any conclusions. Anyway, if you don't remember, Crunchyroll, a popular anime streaming service, had a whole deal where they made original anime. What constitutes a Crunchyroll original is seemingly arbitrary, and I will be honest, I do not particularly care about this part. If you want to know more, then go watch this video by Mother's Basement. High Guardian Spice was the first Crunchyroll original
Oh no,
ever
that looks
announced, and the trailer released in 2018 was, I'll admit, bad. No one liked it, not even the creators. It was given a release date-ish of 2019. 2019 came around and nothing. No trailer, no news, and definitely no show. Oh, but what's this? Dropping the show's trailer in August 2021 with no prior update? A second trailer in October? And then later that month unceremoniously dropping the show 2 years later with as little acknowledgement as possible? Wow! That's really uncool. The development and release of this show was troubled, to say the least, but I feel like there's more to the story than is widely known. Dialing back a bit, High Guardian Spice began as the personal project.
I genuinely feel like High Guardian Spice should have been
in 2013.
the same. It should have been given the Nimona treatment because they both started in the same, like, place.
While it wasn't picked up, the idea would later be used for Rodriguez's college thesis film, Treasure Hunt, which can still be found on YouTube. Eventually, he was given the chance to pitch the story to Crunchyroll in 2016. It was being developed as a comic in 2017, and in 2018 it was repitched as a show and finally picked up. Looking through Rodriguez's blog is really cool because you can see how the characters evolve over time, how they would eventually become what we see in the show. Frankly, this is peak Tumblr comic material, and I mean that with all the affection in my heart. This should have gotten the same treatment as Nimona, but that sadly isn't the world we live in. Yes. There is a lot to discuss, so let's get going. Yay! Rosemary and Sage are two girls from the small village of Pebble who make their way to the city of Lingard in order to attend High Guardian Academy. Here they will master their skills to become guardians of the land and protect those in need. While in the city, they meet Parsley, a level-headed dwarf, and Time, an elf who isn't here to make friends. She makes friends. They go through school, dealing with the new environment and all the classic school drama, involving friendships, bullies, crushes, and more. Along the way, a mysterious plot and conspiracy is uncovered, and soon the girls are the target of dangerous assassins.
He should have been a Tumblr
I will be the first to
sexy
admit
man.
that, yeah, the plot of this show is pretty all over the place.
there's always a bunch of different things going on all at once at any given time. But despite that, I still feel like it was easy to follow.
Okay.
Though
I
that
got
could
this.
very well be because this is my second watch through. You get the basic gist of the situation. Typical magic school shenanigans while an evil plot is brewing beneath the surface. My main complaint is that we spend a bit too long on those school shenanigans. It feels as if the actual stakes
Should
only
I
come
have
in the
the
last 5
highlights?
episodes. That isn't to say everything before that point is boring, though. Yeah, there are
Parsley
some tired
is
tropes, but it's
So
still
good.
really
I love
fun.
her.
The animation of this show isn't its strong suit, but that's not exactly a hot take. According to Rodriguez, the budget was closer to a Cartoon Network show that runs about at 11 minutes each episode. High Guardian Spice episodes are 25 minutes long, so they had to stretch that budget out to get twice as much.
There was there's a video that's called "Don't Animate Like High Guardian Spice," and the only reason I didn't really bring it up was because like it seems like that video was made before Rodriguez made his thread on like why the show looks the way it does. So I assume like this person was just going in like they just genuinely didn't know. Because I like to assume the best in people. So, you know, let's see, does this work? Damn it. I like to assume the best in people. Also by that point, I was kind of tired of looking at High Guardian Spice hate slop, so whatever. I didn't, oh god. I know, right? I love all that he draws and stuff, and he's doing other cool things too. His like little animatic for like the picture, picture of Dorian Gray. I'm just like, ooh, let's go. Cause like he's such a fucking good artist. I got a commission from him because like, fuck yeah. And it was really cool and it's really good. Wait, give me a second. Let me pull it the fuck up. Oh, let's see. Can I find it on Tumblr? What? I know I posted it on Tumblr. Right? I think so. Fuck. Aw, man. Whatever. Anyway, but yeah, much out of it. And if you're thinking, oh, well, I could do better on the budget of a shoestring, hush. No, you couldn't. I think it's most noticeable in the earlier episodes. Specifically episode 1. That's where we can find the infamous lamppost and bread PNGs. And in this one shot, I can just feel the troubled production. Nothing on the table Yeah,
looks
I am
like
the
it
better
belongs
clear than
in
the rest.
same
Yeah.
universe. It's
That is
actually
definitely the
really
vibe that
mystifying.
a lot
and
of people
the
had.
lamppost is pretty
And
bad
you know
too.
what? I don't blame anyone who got swept up in the, oh god, I'm about to sneeze. Woo! Pardon me. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna do the highlights. But like, I don't blame anyone who got swept up in the High Guardian Spice hate because like, it was the thing to hate for a good period of time, and like, it's easy, and I talk about that. It's easy to get swept up in that kind of thing. So like, there's no shame in it. I mean, like, there's thank you. Actually, like, yeah, no, the character designs are good, and anyone who tells you otherwise is lying because they communicate what who the characters are so well. It's so good. But like, yeah, man, no, High Guardian Spice designs are fucking awesome. And I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, like there should be a little shame if you got caught up in the High Guardian Spice hate, but like, don't completely blame yourself for it because it was not something that like anyone could have really like individually combated, you know? Like, it's fine. Don't beat yourself up over it.
Did I do something? Fuck. Okay, no, it's fine.
So, mainly the bottom of it, oof, the artifacting. But this is only the first episode of 12, and while first impressions are important, things do get better. Sure, there are some choppy walk cycles and awkward movements, but it's serviceable, you know? Plus, there are some pretty cool fight scenes. Not to mention, in terms of character design, it's really good. Anyone who tells you these character designs are bad are either dumb or lying. I adore the designs.
Man, I don't know
of this
anything
show.
about what's going
They're
on
pretty much
with
perfect,
Crunchyroll.
simple
Just,
enough to be animated, but with enough
I know it's a
detail
mess,
to be
though.
distinguishable and interesting. You see these characters and you instantly know what they're about. Their silhouettes are unique, and pretty much everything here is just super neat. If I had to pick my favorite designs, I'd say Rosemary and Olive. Rosemary's big,
Olive, my
poofy twin
beloved.
tails are so cute and give her a really fun look, along with her rounded combat skirt. And the more I thought about it, the more these elements linked back to her family, who seemed to run a bakery. She's just a little cream puff cupcake warrior girl. And Olive, who is a Tokyo Mew Mew reference. More specifically, a Tokyo Black Cat Girl reference, which was the prototype for Tokyo Mew Mew. I love the details of her dress, and I love how her magical staff has a little kitty shape. All the school teachers have cool designs too. The satyr blacksmithing teacher, the triad who act as like the principal, I think. They got this whole 3 goddesses and past, present, future thing going on. The crazy low-key evil potion teacher.
She
and
should be
Drek. Drek? Look at this character design, because, I mean, pretty demon lady? Hello? If it wasn't for the fact this show was clowned on to oblivion, she would be the object of everyone's thirst, and rightfully so!
And rightfully so. Oh, God, I love her voice.
I would say this show has 6 main characters. We have the 4...
I've seen people get mad at like High Guardian Spice for that little bit with Direct, where it's like they're talking about ethics and shit. Because cake simping count. Man. Look, if there's a pretty lady, I'm gonna like her. Like, what do you want from me? It's not hard. But like some people were like, oh, the first lesson is ethics class and whatever. And it's like, well, hey, if you are training like warriors to defend people, I think having a class in ethics is an alright thing to do. Like, what are you mad about? You mad about school?
Main gals of Rosemary, Sage, Parsley, and Thyme, but there's also Amaryllis and Snapdragon, who start off as the bully characters. Specifically Amaryllis, but over the course of the series, an actual friend group is formed. Rosemary is a brash, optimistic, and impulsive young girl who would absolutely be diagnosed with ADHD in the modern world. She wants to follow in the footsteps of her mother, Lavender, who's been missing for the last 4 years, leaving behind only her sword for her daughter. A lot of people find Rosemary annoying, and, you know, that's fair. But I think it's on purpose, because Rosemary is very much that hyperactive child with dreams of becoming an amazing hero, and over the course of the show, we see her start to focus on what actually makes a good warrior, aside from just epic monster slaying. Whether that arc is done well is a matter of opinion. Personally, I don't think what we have is bad, but it wasn't enough. Her development suffers because the serious stuff only really happens in the latter half of the show, leaving her goofing around for the most part.
Oh,
her
no.
goofing around isn't unenjoyable, but it speaks to the troubled production of the show. Sage is Rosemary's best friend. They grew up together and are as close can be. Sage is the mage of the party, coming from a family of witches who practice old magic. This causes a lot of
the
issues
ethics
when
class
Sage
was good.
gets to High Guardian Academy, as almost everyone there excludes.
That's like saying that, like, oh, colleges having philosophy classes, stupid and lame. And it's like, buddy, what's your fucking problem? Like, why are you mad that a thing is being taught? But, like, of course we know that's the problem.
Exclusively uses new magic.
Between the two girls, Sage has the hardest time adjusting to school, but she still works hard to prove the effectiveness of old magic while slowly learning how to properly apply new magic when needed. As stated before, Sage and Rosemary are lifelong best friends.
Sage is
The two of
such a
them sort of
petty
start to
lesbian,
drift
and I love
apart.
her for it.
Sage begins to find Rosemary's impulsiveness more and more grating, and Rose finds herself getting impatient with Sage's careful and analytical ways. I think this is a really interesting idea, even if it didn't have enough time to be developed. Parsley is great. She's just a chill gal with the most emotional intelligence of the cast, which makes sense considering she basically helped to raise her, 14 younger brothers. But despite her somewhat tomboyish appearance, she is always down to gossip, talk about crushes, and dress up. Her plot in episode 3, where she uses a tiny hammer through this
I
whole
love the
tunnel
tiny
system,
hammer
is
plot.
one of my
It's
favorite
so good.
bits. I feel like she gets the least amount of focus, but only because she's more of
on.
a supporting character.
There we go.
Not like a supporting character as in one secondary to the main cast, but she provides something for the others to bounce off of, and it's through that bounce that we see more of Parsley herself. And in general, she's super neat. I like her. Time only gets a lot of focus at the end. She's standoffish, aloof, socially awkward, and prefers her own company. But over the course of the show, we see her soften up to the other girls. She is an elf who comes from the Fairy Woods. We don't know a lot about the Fairy Woods, if they play some significant part in the larger world, or if that's just a place where people live. But we do know that the Fairy Woods are dying due to something called the Rot. Part of why she's so moody is because her mother made Time flee the Fairy Woods with her, while Time's father stayed behind to try and fix it. Time's primary goal throughout the show is finding a way to save her home and stop the Rot, but it turns out the Rot is only a symptom of a much larger problem. I like Time. She's got this sorta I wish I weren't here right now attitude, but it never extends into wait, why is she here territory.
Dang it.
She and Parsley are roommates, which is how she got roped into hanging out
And they
with
were
Rose and Sage.
roommates.
It's actually funny how this team/friend group happens so naturally, because the students at High Guardian Academy aren't put into specific teams. It's just a friend group that happened. It's cute. Amaryllis. She is a horrible, cruel, blood-hungry gremlin. And I love her. She is the rich, preppy bully girl turned up to 12. I'll be honest, it was irritating at first. Just kind of a generic bully character. But after a while, it's just hilarious. She is such an absurd caricature of what a mean girl is, and you can't help but to love it.
Oh,
What
fuck.
adds to
Oh,
her
there's a
appeal,
line.
I think, is that she isn't just a rich, preppy, I'm better than you sort of gal. She's also just a chaotic, violent little beast who
Oh, I see.
gleefully destroys everything in her path. Amaryllis is just funny. I
Amaryllis
love her.
is so
I think
good.
everyone loves her. What also helps to endear her to the audience is her relationship with Snapdragon. For a majority of the show, Snapdragon is referred to as a guy. However, it becomes clear Snap isn't comfortable with that label, and outside sources confirm she is a trans girl. Which, honestly, I don't think I've seen another show introduce a character pre-transition and then follow them on that journey of self-discovery. So while I will refer to Snapdragon as she, her, know that for most of the series she is presented as a guy. Seemingly, Snapdragon is the most beloved character of the series. This is because we see all throughout the show her struggles with identity and gender.
Snapdragon is also
She's
best
afraid
girl.
of tarnishing her father's legacy because he's some unspecified important manly man. For the autumn procession, it's Halloween, she
just
dresses
Halloween.
up as a mermaid, only to be lambasted by a jerk schoolmate of hers. This gives new context to a lot of previous scenes.
Bro, the
Like
transphobia
Amaryllis,
runs now.
Snap
No,
is a
it
bit
was
of a
so
jerk at
wild.
first.
Like, they're
But
like,
unlike
oh, why'd
Amaryllis,
they,
who is just
like,
actively mean
make
for
the
sake of it,
femboy trans?
Snap is
And it's
more
like,
withdrawn,
because-
making harsh remarks
because
and
it's not a
keeping to
femboy.
herself. But
That's just a
slowly,
trans
through
girl.
the support of teachers and friends alike, we see her open up a bit. I think one of my favorite bits is this part in episode 3 when Sage is telling off Amaryllis for messing up her spell, and it cuts to Snapdragon with the shoujo bubbles, and you think, oh, he has a crush on her. But then you realize later, oh wait, that was gender envy and a crush. I'm on the Sage Dragon train. Those two deserve each other. And as a personal treat to me, there's also
the Julia Kay, I think is her name, voice of Snapdragon. They're really cool, and I think she deserves more attention. And also the fact that she was like, man, it's really cool that I get to voice a trans character who gets to talk openly about being trans. I feel like that's also important to the story because, yeah, man. Yeah.
The cat. He's one of the cats that hang around school, and he got splashed with a potion that made him big, and he can talk now. He's the funniest, sweetest kitty, mainly because when he talks, it's with the same cadence and tone, and oh, he's so great. I love him.
Yay, I got it.
There are a lot of characters I could talk about, because for a show with only 12 episodes, the cast is pretty big. I wish we got to see other students. In this one group shot in the opening, you can see a lot of fun dynamics and interesting looking guys, and I want to know more about all of them.
Yeah, like there's real passion. But people don't care about passion.
Something I found really cool watching this show again was the world. A lot of it is, admittedly, generic magical medieval fantasy stuff. And there are a lot of aspects that are left unexplored and unexplained. But even still, I found many of the ideas presented and the design elements to be really charming. The double-decker wagon bus pulled by Moose in episode 1 was really cute. Instead of a fire extinguisher, the library has these magical gauntlets that shoot water out. There are these little creatures called Trixies that build nests out of shiny things to attract a mate. My favorite critters are the Traberns. When Parsley is doing a whole dungeon quest, she runs into these little glowing mushroom crabs that help her
Slime Boy's
out.
pretty good.
And the littlest one even sticks with her. I like to imagine she goes down there and visits every now and then. Funny side note, but the very next episode, the school has to be evacuated because of a Trabern infestation, which Parsley absolutely caused. Though these are clearly a domestic variant, because we see some while the gang are in a cave and they are not friendly. A wild moment that just kind of happens is when the girls are trapped in the aforementioned cave. Parsley mentions that the thing they got earlier in the cave was a dragon's egg, so they dump it into some healing water and it grows rapidly, bursting out of the cave and flying the girls out. But then it starts to wither and turns to bone. But then it's just like, oh, I'm okay, and flies into the sky and then explodes and becomes stars. That is so completely out of pocket, and I love it.
I fucking love
Ray
that
mentioned in an interview he was inspired by shows like Adventure Time and Gravity Falls, and that's what this moment feels like. Another cute thing I really liked are how when magic staffs are used for flying, they get little broom bristles. It's not completely consistent, but it's really cute, and in general, a lot of things in this show are really cute. One thing I noticed was Time's family all have fangs. It's a really small detail, but it's so cool that effort was put into it. Sage's Aunt Aloe doesn't have fangs, so maybe this is a trait specific to elves from the fairy woods, or just in Time's family. This is less of a world thing, but something I forgot to mention,
And I didn't feel like re-recording the first part.
but the tone of this series is sort of inconsistent. Infamously, every episode of High Guardian Spice begins with a warning about strong language, sexual content, and violence. And while those things are technically true, there is a lot more on Crunchyroll that has a lot more of all of that and doesn't start with a warning. I can't imagine this is something that the production team asked for, so it had to be on Crunchyroll's side. If it wasn't for that specific warning, I feel like people wouldn't be all, gasp, they said the shit word. Because to me, all the swears sound really natural.
Yeah,
there isn't a moment where the camera stops and draws attention to it or anything. Characters just say it and move on, like real people do. Honestly, I don't even know what the sexual content is. Like, sure, there are some allusions, but nothing explicit enough to invoke this kind of warning. It's on the same level as, like, a small joke in a children's cartoon.
I'll be completely real. Yeah, no, I think the warning was just homophobia. Like, honest to God. Which is really funny because Crunchyroll does have, like gay shows on their website, and of course more recently those gay shows have been fucking lambasted. Well, and that's why they got rid of fucking comments, which is a thing I talk about later. But like, no, the warning was just homophobia. Holy shit.
Parents to laugh at. But also, this is on Crunchyroll, and again, there is a lot more explicit stuff on Crunchyroll.
Like fucking borderline hentai, like fucking goddamn. Let's see. Oh, nope. No, I'm not pink.
Were the people at Crunchyroll really that worried some child would stumble upon this show?
And not
I
any
don't
of the
know.
other
This whole
fucking
little
shit on
bit
there?
is so confusing to me, and I would genuinely love to know the reasoning behind it. Also, yeah, violence. There's some blood. Monsters are living creatures after all. But I think the most oh shit moment is the Scypith. Basically, this sea dragon has become aggressive, and the gang were trying to capture it, but Sage's magic goes haywire, and she ends up fatally injuring the Scypith. So Rose steps up to put it down, which is something we saw her struggle with before. When fighting Olive previously, she cuts her arm, and there's a moment where Rose looks at Olive, hurt on the ground, and looks at her sword, covered in blood. It's the classic story of the hyperactive kid who wants to be a hero but learns there's more to it than epic monster slaying. And I feel like if more time was given to the writers, this moment where Rose puts down the Scypith would be a major moment of character growth. So, yeah, admittedly, the tone is all over the place. One of the biggest things the show introduces is the concept of old magic versus new magic. This is also where a lot of people complain about the world building, which is completely understandable. Things get fumbled a lot, and the actual
Yeah,
difference
and look, here's
between
me
the two
making
isn't
criticisms
completely
of High
clear.
Guardian Spice
Old
because
magic
I, in
is
fact,
classical
did not
witchcraft.
think it's
Rituals,
perfect.
sigils, drawing runes, that kind of stuff. Sage describes seeing her mother pulling magic from the earth and through her body, and then after a big spell, she would go and plant a tree. As magic gives to you,
I had
you
so
must
little
give
footage to
it,
work with on
or
this
else
example.
the balance of the world will be disrupted. Meanwhile, new magic is just sort of, wee, look what I can do, wee! Sage, being the mage of the part. Is that a pun? Sage, being the mage of the party, is primarily how we explore these two systems. Though
why is
I
that
do
happening?
say system lightly. Sage is both interested in new magic, but also
I see.
wary and
Maybe.
uncertain of it. Old magic is sacred to her and something that
What the
she
fuck?
was taught to value. And there is also some merit to that aside from tradition for the sake of tradition. Episode 5 gives us a scenario that we can at least vaguely figure out the differences between the two. There are these plants called skeevers, and their buds can be used in
Skivels.
potions and spells and such.
What?
But
I was
before you
playing
can
too much
collect them,
Oblivion.
you have to neutralize the plant as they are carnivorous and extremely dangerous. Redbud demonstrates this with new magic. Simply,
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I feel like that's a complaint that you can make in any, like, fantasy setting. Like, why would anyone use a sword when people can just make, like, throw fireballs and whatever? And I understand that, but it's also a matter of, like, why would anyone use a knife when there are guns? And it's that's because it depends on what you have access to and depends on what you're comfortable with. Obviously, we don't live in a world where people just, like, fight for well, actually, no, that's what pro wrestling is. But, like, you know, it's the same kind of whatever. My point is there.
pointing her wand, the buds glow, and she can collect them. We only see one of Sage's attempts to do this with old magic, where she draws a spell circle only for the plants to resist it.
So what is actually happening
Me
here?
fucking
Old
theorizing
magic can
about this
typically
shit.
be identified by spell circles that appear when casting a spell. As previously stated, it's pulling magic from the earth, so we can assume that these spell circles are a way of directing that magic into the desired effect. With new magic, though, you just sort of will whatever effect you want. So, what is the issue with new magic? Because when you actually think about it, it's not just a thinly veiled political compass.
Oh, I'll get
Over
to this
the
bullshit.
course of the series, we hear mentions
see.
of magic within the planet and how it seems to be drying up. The healing waters in the cave of Vinca, the fairy woods, and some infected kelp that the side
Yeah,
pith
okay.
was eating. New magic is only possible with a terrasphere, and in the same episode as the Skeevers, we see one of Redbud's seems to run out of power and she simply switches to a new one. So here's what I think the deal is. New magic refers to magic being casted without a cost, which is something done exclusively through terraspheres. Terraspheres are these little orbs that are filled with magic siphoned from the planet, hence terrasphere. From there, a mage can easily access large amounts of natural magic without drawbacks. However, the issue lies in the mass production of terraspheres and the possible commercialization of the product. As Witch Country, where a lot of new magic is seemingly revolutionized and also where the villains come from, seems to be a bit of a capitalist hellscape. There is a lot, and it is really hard to figure out what direction the
No, I
show
thought about
wanted to
this
go
shit
in.
for a while.
In the very last episode, Professor Caraway uses both new magic and old magic together, and Sage is just blown away by this concept. Meanwhile, that was the answer I was thinking of the entire time I first watched this show. Like, no duh, use them both! There was a brief moment in episode 1 where her aunts use both new and old magic together, and Sage is like, wow, I thought they were incompatible, but that never gets brought up again.
Nope. Do you know what this is? And this is like half the video is you know what this is, because you can't talk about High Guardian Spice without talking about the backlash and all that stuff, because you know that's kind of a major part of it. And yeah, it was my turn.
I've been really nice so far, but now it's time to be mean. Not to the show. I've been giving my personal criticisms throughout the video. No. I want to personally rip into the bullshit that this show was put through. While other people have discussed the right-wing culture war backlash that this show faced, it's my turn now. Holy wow, people hated this show for nothing! Like, literally nothing. To the point that even other creators that I really enjoy and respect fall into the trap of just sort of writing it off. This is gonna be the most dense section of the video, and yeah, the one where I admittedly go to bat for this show. Because I truly feel like it did not deserve whatever the hell happened to it. So I'm gonna analyze the backlash that High Guardian got in a few different ways. And the first is using a single YouTuber as a case study. That YouTuber being Hirohei is specifically one of the scummiest people on the platform. He follows every trend of low effort, uncaring, capital C content. His videos consist of arrogant sneering at any form of progressivism and talks about random Twitter drama as news. And you bet he did a bunch of High Guardian Spice videos back in the day. Specifically, I watched this video, and it was some of the most infuriating 9 minutes I've ever sat through.
Also, younger me would be baffled how much a hero hater. That's a tongue. Hero hater. Okay, I don't know. But yeah, I wonder how he does though. Fucking God. Hirohei's somebody I would God, I would love to debate him. I know there's no point. I know that that's not a good mindset, but like, Fuck, it would be funny. It would be funny.
It consists of Hirohei reading the original creator's tweets about why the show is the way that it is. He thinks Rei's tweets are deflecting, which, simply put, I do not agree with. And in order to keep this section from being just me screaming in fury, I broke it down into 2 main points. That being, 1, it costs no money to write well, and 2, there was no hate campaign against the show, and it was all legitimate criticism all along. I'm going to prove that both of these things are objectively incorrect. First, good writing doesn't cost money. In a tweet that Hirohei suspiciously didn't showcase, Rodriguez clarifies that a smaller budget means less time to write. More specifically, less time to notice plot holes, less time to tighten up dialogue, less time to ensure the story they are telling
Hirohei's localization takes are so bad. Hirohei is bad. We all know this. Everyone knows this. Like, good lord. Oh, why is that like that? Give me a second. Why are you, no. No, come on. Yeah, there we go. Like, fuck that guy. Oh, man, me and my homies, we all hate Hirohei. Oh, God.
Consistent and makes sense. Good writing takes time, and time does, in fact, equal money. I feel like one comment on this video perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with this mindset. Quote, I told Rei Rodriguez that he had 3 years to think about his script and that thinking costs $0 at all. Then he blocked me for it. And then mentions a feminism activist, I don't know. No, actually, he did not have 3 years to think about the script, partly because Rodriguez was not the only writer on the show, but mainly because the show finished production in 2019. Crunchyroll just didn't release it until 2021. We don't know why Crunchyroll did this. My personal theory is because of what a disaster the announcement was. Also, dear commenter who apparently personally told Rei Rodriguez what a bad writer he is, who even are you? What have you done? What have you written? If you think you can do so much better, then I would love to see. Because wow, that original comment is so self-aggrandizing.
So I did actually get some criticism on that I will admit, yeah, my bad, is that, like, it's not, you can't respond to criticism on a piece of media by saying, oh, I'd like to see you do better. That is true. I don't normally like to do that kind of thing. And I think the only reason I went there at all was because, like, the commenter was so like, I told Rei Rodriguez that he had time to fix his script and he didn't listen to me. And it's like, why the fuck would he? You're some rando on the internet harassing him. So, like, bro's not fucking obligated to listen to you. You're kind of an asshat. But, like, I do understand that is a pretty legitimate criticism of what I said. So, yeah.
Writing a story is hard. Making a complex world with magic systems and its own history when you aren't allowed to double-check yourself is stupidly hard. Every great work of fiction took years to develop. Do you think The Last Airbender was written in a week? No! It took years for that world to be fleshed out and developed. No matter how good an idea is, it won't be good unless it's given proper time and consideration. And to me, it's clear that the artists and the writers of this show did care. They cared a lot. They just weren't given the resources they needed.
I don't like that.
And second, the idea that all the hate High Guardian Spice got wasn't hate at all. There was no harassment campaign or anything. It was just actual people criticizing the show. Even gay and trans people were criticizing it, so there couldn't have been a right-wing hate campaign against it.
Hey buddy, are you actually brain dead, or have you been lying for so long you've bought into your own bullshit?
People were hating on High Guardian Spice before it ever released, before there was even any footage of it. Buzzwords like
I tweeted, because this was when I was still on Twitter, I tweeted like, God, I don't want to have to like search through like mountains of garbage tweets to like find examples and stuff. Part of me just wants to use like footage from Sarah Zed's video, and then fucking Lady Emily, the editor for Sarah Zed and also writer and stuff, was like, yeah man, you should totally do that, like if it helps make your point. And I was like, how did you find me? What? It was so just like not quite a senpai has noticed me moment, but it was just like, oh god, here I am, tiny baby YouTuber, and then fucking a cool ass video essay person is like, hey, yeah, no, you should totally do that. And I'm like, ah.
Diversity and feminist were thrown around as the sole justification for all the hate it got. And again, before the show was released. And then, once the show came out, you had hundreds of videos breaking apart every individual aspect of the show. And while there are legitimate reasons to criticize the series, no art is above criticism, a lot of these were either nitpicking or talking about how political the show was. Newsflash? Conservative is also just a normal word that can be used. The main propagators of High Guardian Spice hate were these people discussing the show in bad faith and basically being upset there's a trans person who says the word transgender. Gasp. I feel like Sarah Zed said it best in her video, Sacrificial Trash. It doesn't matter if there are people making good faith criticism alongside the unjustified hate, because all of it will be used as evidence by those bad actors to say, see, it is super bad. We weren't being bullies, we're just stating facts. And those thin-skinned
faux activists.
Seriously, dude, why did you say that instead of what was written in...
This drives me fucking crazy, the fact that he, like, changed that word. And I have a theory on, like, why he did, and it's just like, oh my god, anyway.
Faux activists.
Seriously, dude, why did you say that instead of what was written in the tweet you were reading? Who made the show just can't handle it. The most disgusting part of all of this is the weaponization of queer people. Just because a gay or trans person doesn't like a show that happens to also be gay or trans doesn't automatically make their opinion objectively correct. It's their opinion. And the idea of someone saying, I'm queer and I didn't like this show, instead of just, I didn't like this show, feels like signaling to the hate mob that you're one of the good ones. I've seen videos
that was a little
titled,
pretentious. That the black screen with me saying one of the good ones, like, that was pretentious. That was, why the fuck did I do that?
Things like, this show makes me embarrassed to be bisexual, or trans people watch High Guardian Spice so you don't have to. And it's just self-tokenization.
If a fucking mediocre cartoon makes you embarrassed to be bisexual, like, that's a skill issue. Like, that's a you problem. I'ma be real. Like, I'm sure that person had legitimate criticism and stuff, but, like, that's such a hyperbolic title, and I don't like it, man.
So yeah, everything Hirohei stated in this video is provably false. Not that he really stated much of anything, considering this video was just him mockingly reading someone's tweets and then reading other people's tweets and calling that news.
Also, by the way, this quote in the thumbnail is not a quote from Ray or anyone. It's just something to make his audience of bigoted ex-gamergaters seethe and continue the hate campaign.
Hirohei is one of the most disingenuous, self-absorbed assholes online. I could say more, but unlike this guy, I don't like being hateful just for the sake of being hateful.
It's true.
Virtus Joe has some good videos on it, though. I recommend it. I was also gonna talk about Guardian HQ as well, who quite literally started his channel shitting on the show, but honestly, his videos are so boring. I could barely get through one, even at 2 times speed. He says that High Guardian Spice has redundant dialogue, but bro will spend 5 minutes saying the exact same thing over and over again. This guy doesn't seem actively malicious.
Oh god, that's too much. Oh god. I'm going too fast. Ah!
Train. He recently posted a new High Guardian Spice Abridged episode, but man...
Dude, don't be mad at your younger self. You were young and you
It is at
learned.
this point that I would like to make an observation.
Stay with me here.
X-Arm is another
I
infamously
bring up
terrible
X-Arm?
show that also happens to be a Crunchyroll
Dude, no,
original.
if
I haven't
I
watched it
celebrate the day
personally, but
Hero
I mean,
Hey doesn't fucking post
You
anymore.
can see the issues already.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it was created by a group of people who haven't worked in animation before. Everyone clowned on this series. How can you not? This is impressively bad. Something that could only be created by a bunch of live-action film directors who think they know better than the entirety of the animation industry. But there's
Ninjago,
something
yeah.
different about the show that I would like to
around and and spin.
Woo! Dude, I used to... oh god, I was cringe in middle school.
Anyway, it is now 1:03, and I do need to get to... I need to get ready for work. But once again, I would like to thank people for coming and watching me animate and listen to me yap and also listen to me reacting to my own videos, because I feel like if I I need to watch something, but YouTube like copyright stuff, and I don't want to be one of those people who like just like plays somebody else's video for an audience to watch and whatever. So it's like, but if it's my own, then like I can do whatever I want with that. So, and like part of me feels a little like I don't even know, but because I don't like want to be, oh pardon me, I don't like want to be that kind of person, but this, oh pardon me, but at the same time it's like, man, you know. But, yeah, that's, I did it. Hooray. Yeah, I should stream on YouTube more. It's been really fun, actually.
Yeah. But for now,
I gotta go do things for work.
Oh, it's Magical Girl video when...
Bro, every video I post is a Magical Girl video because I'm a Magical Girl. Duh.
Good night, Mom! Oh, okay, maybe cool it down there.
It's 1 in the afternoon. Anyway, but yeah, thank you guys for joining and talking and commentating and all that stuff. Have a good